Ladies and gentlemen, there's a program of voice to the people. For the voiceless. Good. Jeffrey Sankis.
Yes, yeah, and today is the
Yeah.
21st day of
Yes.
October,
Yes.
2017, and there's so many issues.
Lot of issues, yes.
I guess prime among them would be the selection of the GCOM chairman. President Granger made a decision, a unilateral decision,
Yes.
which he's entitled to under the Constitution.
That's right.
To appoint Minister Patterson.
Yes.
The only thing is that some people are questioning whether Mr. Patterson has the staying power. Some believe maybe he should have had a medical before, just to make sure that he can, that he.
Why the man sick?
No, for such a position, he has to be there for,
People can die anytime.
That is true.
Yes.
But he's, 84, is it?
Yeah, what is still young?
Yes. Still young.
Yeah, he's still young.
But the
Yes.
Jagdeo is threatening destabilization. He said he's going to organize protests in the city,
Yes.
so we'll see. I think he's trying to get some organized for the coming week.
Okay.
And he's trying to get involvement of civil society in what he's doing.
What is your personal thing about the GCOM? The new chairman?
No, when you say personal,
Yeah, what you think personally?
I don't know the guy really. I really don't. I don't know him.
How long you know him?
I don't know the guy. I don't know the guy.
You
So
know
I
him?
can't make any personal comments.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, the government is paying out 3.5 billion
Yes.
to public servants.
Yes.
At least they're getting something, but people are still complaining that there's no collective bargaining in the public sector. But the minimum wage has gone up to 60,000 per month. But as I said, you need to have the collective bargaining has been thrown out for so many years, Then the teachers are complaining that.
What do you mean Ministry of Education? Ministry of Education. What are they doing for the teachers?
Well, that is it. The teachers are complaining. In fact, they're asked to supervise children during lunch hour, and they're saying that this shouldn't be. But they need to still have one teacher or two to observe what happens during that lunch break. I still think that anything could happen.
So what do you feel coming out? What do you advise to your education ministry?
Well, they need to have dialogue with the Teachers Association, the Guyana Teachers Association. Then you have the oil and gas, Apparently, many people don't know what is happening because even top government officials don't understand what is happening with oil and gas, what is the implications for the environment and so on. So we need to educate the people. We need to let them know what does it mean. Someone was saying that when you take out the oil from the thing, it's like a car. The oil is not there. Anything could happen. It could lead to. There's a theory. I'm saying a theory. I'm not saying it's a supposition. It's a theory that it can lead to things like earthquakes.
The spill.
Oh yes, we need to. Harmon said he doesn't know how to handle that. Trinidad.
How you handle it?
Well, we need to educate ourselves on this. That is why we need to have
people
trained.
Somebody can last spilling guy, and what do you have to do?
They need to know what action to take and on who to contact and what. They need to have mechanisms in place to handle that.
They have that? The mechanism?
Apparently they don't at the moment, so they need to hurriedly do it. Trinidad had oil spill the other day.
Yes.
And we need to do something. And then again, as I said, the environment. What are the environmental issues with this exploration? What happens to our fish? What happens to our turtle? And as I said, it could be probably in the long term to earthquakes.
It can be disaster.
We need to look into it.
It can be a disaster.
Yes.
Yeah, what disaster then? Yeah. If that should have happened.
No, the New York Times, I think, has called it a cash cow for Exxon. This Tobruk.
So why do you call it cash cow?
Because money is going to come in, roll in all the time. But what I'm saying, we cannot let them just take out all the oil at once, because it might create an imbalance. That's what I'm saying with the oil. It's like your car. If it doesn't have oil, what happens to it? It seizes up.
US dollar going to drop?
Huh?
US dollar going to drop? Or are you going to go up?
The price?
Yeah, US dollars.
Oh, US dollar. I don't know. Huh? I don't know what is happening with it right now. The US dollar.
Yes. Okay.
But Guyana is becoming very important for the oil industry.
Well, see, and greetings in the name of the Most High, the Almighty, because He controlling everything right now. Right now, I like what is happening right now in Guyana.
Yes. Why you like what happened?
I like the fact that Mr. Granger is finally appearing to be decisive and is fully coming to grips with the fact that he's an executive president.
Yes.
And more so,
I personally really appreciate that. I appreciate that.
he's functioning
Yes,
also
yes,
within the
yes,
Constitution
yes,
as
yes.
it's
I appreciate
written.
that, yes.
So, regardless of what people
Yes.
saying, he's on spot, he's on ball, and I've been calling a long time for him to take the stand he's now taking with the GCOM chairman. And I like Judge James Patterson. He looks like a nice grandfather, you know.
You met him already?
No, I haven't met him, but I've met his spirit.
Okay.
Yeah, his spirit. Yeah, his spirit. He exudes a nice spirit.
Yes.
And I think he's going to be impartial, and all these other things that they say is start with I, you know. And I personally feel that between now and 2020, he's going to do a great job. And after 2020, I don't know if he's going to lay his head down and close his eyes. But I know between now and 2020, he's got a purpose. And he's put there for a purpose.
Okay.
And the purpose is to maintain a balance.
Yes.
Most importantly. More than that, I personally think that democracy is under attack, and it's a good thing it's under attack because democracy is a failed concept. I can't describe it. I believe in theocracy, and right now President Granger is more functioning on that theocratic mode, meaning because he says that he's a Christian Anglican, you know, he's functioning on a divine guidance, and that is theocracy. Because democracy, the rule of the people is not working.
What do you think about the opposition leader now?
The opposition leader.
Yes.
I would want to say to Brother Barrett to rethink his approach to this concept of making Guyana ungovernable. Because
Actually, the president, he was the president of the
yeah,
country.
and because of the fact
Yes.
he used to be a president
Yes,
for 12
right,
years,
that's right.
you need to be more of a statesman.
Yes.
You need to be more nationalistic, more
Yes, that's
patriotic,
right.
and needs to have the Guyanese at
He wants
heart.
the president of the country.
He is a selfish, surly,
Gotta respect-
petulant
you gotta respect the man.
politician. No,
You gotta respect the man
I
for
don't
that.
respect Barrett Jagdeo. No,
Why?
because of his actions towards Guyanese and the Guyanese nation.
You don't respect the president of America, United States?
I don't respect
which
Trump.
one?
In fact,
You mean-
Trump and Jagdeo appear to be brothers. No, they're brothers. No.
The twin brothers.
Let him
Twin
officially has become a tongue ship, and that's a good thing. The president is down on the border area, making sure that,
Okay.
that we spread out ourselves. But more than that, the president needs to call a press conference right now. He needs to take questions from the general press, international and local. He needs to explain his actions more. We need a press conference by the president ASAP and before the next sitting of parliament. He got to do this. Now, I don't like how they're criminally profiling Broad Street people because they're going to Mocha. Tribalism is rearing its ugly head in Guyana. Imagine one set of black people saying they ain't like another set of black people moving to the area. How low can we get as black people, as Africans?
Yeah.
And this criminal, they have racial profiling, and now
Hey,
Mocha,
man, can't say black people, say Guyanese.
well, Guyanese, but it's
No,
a
you can't
specific,
say, you want to say black people,
but
say
it's
Guyanese.
a specific situation that's happening that we got to
say
say,
Guyanese.
okay, African Guyanese. And one set of African Guyanese in
Yes,
Mocha
yes.
said they need another set of
Yes,
African
yes,
Guyanese
yes, yes.
from Broad and because they feel that they're criminals. How can they assume that? Because I can say the people in Mocha are less than Irie. So we got to overcome this thing of divide and rule that Mr. Jagdeo is promoting. That it comes now to our community where we saying we don't want we brothers live next to we. How stupid can we get? Now, what I'm also showing that Diwali, hey, we had a nice Diwali, but 2 holidays,
Yeah.
one official and one unofficial.
Yeah.
Again, what we're
Yeah.
seeing
Yeah.
is that we can't do without our Indian brethren them. They got the money, they got the land,
Yeah.
they got power.
Okay.
But what they lack is that love to know that we all need to live together as one. And when I see Diwali, I say to myself, why can't we live within the light more than within the darkness, right? Now, what also happening? Indian folks in Guyana, Indian Guyanese, have to do more for Guyana. They got the money, they got the resources, and if they follow Bar Jagdeo, they're going to end up in purgatory
Okay.
because they have more of a right to help Guyana than even us who don't have it.
Okay.
You understand? Yeah,
Or hell,
purgatory,
or
between
hell.
heaven and hell. No, purgatory.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, the other thing is City Council.
Yes.
Good.
My. What's going on at City Council?
What's happening?
They've gone crazy over there.
What's wrong?
Man, they knock off the man who talk about the buggery.
Yeah.
Right?
Whistleblower.
And they should not have knocked that other
The
constable
whistleblower.
off.
Yeah.
The Royston King and the mayor ought to be sanctioned because they're hiding things under the table. Right? But more than that, City Council has not got a cohesive plan to help the citizens of Georgetown. And because of that, the City Council has a problem, a serious problem. So we've come to the point now in Guyana where we've got an executive president functioning decisively, and we've got people getting money. Yeah, I like that, but it's a start. But they should get more.
Okay.
But more than that,
Yeah.
it shows
Yeah.
that right now
right.
Guyana needs to hold one head because serpents are in the grass trying to divide our nation.
And that's why I let you know, you got more bugger money in this country right now.
Yeah, a lot of bug we
Lot
got
of
on.
money, yes, good.
And we got to nip it in the bud.
That's right, that's right.
You know, because it's not fair,
That's
and it's
right.
not natural,
It's not legal.
and it's not moral, it's
Mr.
not
Raham,
legal.
oh, there's a comment. Quick, I'm gonna guess here right
I
now.
know, but we need to talk about
You're
this.
not talking like that, make it fast, then you come to the firm.
We-
Make a cook up, make a pan quick.
Well, if you
You're on the run
keep
of time.
disrupting me, I can't make the point.
Yeah, I make a pan.
Look,
And the
look.
pan, go.
You are the leader of the Justice for All
Yes.
Party. All right? Good. And this is an important subject matter. Should concentrate on this whole program.
Yes.
Because it's about your future as a political party. And you know that because of the way in which GCOM was mismanaged, it wasn't because of the chairman, it was because of the way in which the CEO,
Three times I got cheated by the election
Mr.
commission.
Boudou,
Three times I get cheated.
Mr. Boudou.
Since in those
Three
days.
election contest and get cheated. I
Good.
get robbed.
So you see how important it is
That's
to
right,
you
yes.
that
Three
you
election
were
contests.
disenfranchised.
That's right, yes, that's right.
And as a result, the ordinary
Yes,
people
yes.
who you represented
Yes, yes.
were disenfranchised. Because if they would have had better
Yeah,
representation in Parliament,
Yes.
at least you and Mr. Sankis would have
Yeah.
been in Parliament
Yeah.
many years ago,
Yeah.
and it would have changed the configuration of this country. Now, your station was closed down many times
That's
because you were trying to carry the truth.
That's right.
And you still do, regardless of the fact that you are supporting this coalition,
Yeah,
you
yes.
are effectively
Yes.
a member of this coalition.
Yes.
People must understand that you have a duty and responsibility
Yes.
to those people who voted for
Yeah.
you to become member of the coalition. Now, I say all of that to tell you this, that the behavior of Mr. Jagdeo is wanting, is lacking. Like I remember, you got children,
Lucky in the what?
and you got children, you haven't got
Lucky
children.
in the what?
Behaving like a little child, what you call
You got dollar, you got dollar.
Gadular.
Dollar,
That's the word. I was
They got a
looking.
spy child, spy child.
I was looking for
Spy
that
child.
word because he is one
You don't get the word now. Dollar.
one son among
Yeah,
many
Larry.
sisters.
Yes.
But I don't want to get personal with
No,
him.
no, don't get the person, tell.
But
I don't want to get the person.
his behavior.
Yeah.
Look, he had a chance as president of this country,
That's true.
and he had the opportunity.
Every option
He
in
had,
his hand,
he
in his
had
hand.
in his hands,
In his hand,
and
yes,
he
sir.
messed things up
Yeah,
totally.
he messed things up. That's
Okay.
true, that's true.
Give Mr. Granger the opportunity to
Yeah.
correct things and to make things happen.
Yes,
He's
yes.
going slow, and a lot of people are impatient about
Yes.
things that should have happened. But
Yes.
Mr. Granger presides over a coalition of forces
Yeah.
of more than five
Yeah.
party political groups inside. And he has to have that balance
Yes.
to be able to give
Yes.
people the opportunity.
Okay.
When people talk about democracy, our friend said that it was a unilateral decision to appoint Mr. Patterson
Yes.
as the chairman of the commission.
Yes.
The Constitution is clear. I walk with it today just for the
Let me hear what they
purposes.
say.
It says, the Constitution says, that subject to the provision of paragraph 4, the chairman of the Elections Commission shall be a person who holds or who has held office as a judge of a court having unlimited jurisdiction in civil and criminal matters. The operative thing is this,
Okay.
is that a person must be fit and proper.
How you know how you know we're gonna do
Well,
fit
we'll
and
come
proper?
to that just
How
now.
you gonna do you fit and proper?
We will come to that just
Yeah,
now.
okay.
Fit and proper
Yeah.
to be appointed by
Yeah.
the president.
Yes.
Appointed by the
Yes,
president
yes.
from a list of 6 persons,
Okay.
not unacceptable to the president. Not unacceptable. That's that is too negative, which means a positive. That it must be acceptable to the president. This is English language.
How we can do the fit and proper?
That's
How
what the
you- how-
Constitution
how
says.
you do-
Well, I'm coming to that.
Yeah, yes.
So that list submitted by
Yes.
the opposition, leader of the opposition,
Yes. I know.
after meaningful consultation with political parties represented in the National Assembly. Not only his party alone, the AFC are represented in the parliament, and they should have been consulted too. Okay? Now they're claiming, according to their release, that they were not consulted, which is a lie. Because if you're part of a government,
Yeah.
obviously the matter would have been discussed in cabinet.
Yes.
And then now they're trying to say that they were not consulted. all right?
Who said
But
that?
the AFC.
AFC.
They say that they were not consulted, but they say that finally the AFC strongly condemns the opposition leader for his reckless and unpatriotic stand of non-cooperation and civil disobedience, and the party will hold him personally accountable for the consequences of any civil unrest which may ensue. That's a very good statement. Very good statement from the AFC.
But they said they
Good.
back Ranger on the Tricom appointment.
They said they backed it, they said it in the statement. This morning I wrote something on their blog asking them what is their position on it. So they've declared a statement, which is very good. They should, the AFC has to come out, Mr. Sharma,
Yes.
like what you are doing
Yes.
in support of the government, bringing the issues at the table here so people can see, like what's in Sophia, and now they're taking steps in Sophia.
Yes.
So, Mr.
Okay.
Jagdeo is acting highly irresponsible. He's part of this government. Because if he was not part of the government, then Mr. Granger and the Constitution didn't have to consult
Please
with him.
stick a pin,
Yeah.
and let me get some of these three guests we take in, and it's for, Mommy, please come forward. Ladies, come forward. Ladies first, come. Tell me what your problem is. Your problem. Come
closer.
Give it the mic. Give it the take the mic. Come. Tell me what is your problem. Take the mic. Come. Take the microphone. I'm get. Go and speak now. Speak here. Yeah.
My problem is
Yeah.
concerning my son.
Yes.
His father is a crippled man.
Yeah.
His father is in bed, crippled.
How many years you crippled?
He cripples like over 19 years or
Yeah.
so. But he got crippled on John Finance Wharf. His father's name is Avasak Gustavus Theobald, well known as Avasak Raids. His name is Lakena Theobald,
Okay.
well known as Little Avasak.
Okay.
Now his father spoke to him about selling marijuana in the home
Yes, yes.
in Friendship,
Yes.
where we live.
Yes.
He beat his father,
What?
beat his father terrible.
Yeah.
His eyes, yes.
Oh, this man.
Yes, he beat his father.
Yes.
So terrible. The father ended up to the hospital. But
Now,
not,
somebody
no,
did
look,
Maureen?
this is his father.
Yeah, yeah.
This is the father. Look the father. He beat his father.
Oh, look at
Right
this.
now,
Yeah.
his father is critical,
Yeah.
in a critical condition. I need justice be done with this boy. He wanted at the Grove Police Station, and I need anybody to find the whereabouts of this child. They can report it to me by calling my number 657-9269,
Yes.
and I will call the police.
Yes.
Plus, his father spoke to him about smoking marijuana in the place.
Yeah.
He hold a knife to the father's throat
What?
and asked him if he want him to
Marijuana
bugger
is a
him.
Big damage in this place, man.
He asked the father if he want him to bugger him.
What?
Yes, this boy.
Yes.
This boy is a wicked child.
Yeah.
He waited till his father sleeping long time ago,
Yeah.
throw a bucket of water in his father's sleep and nearly drunk him.
Oh.
Now, when the father collected NIS,
Yeah.
this boy here demands half of the money, half of the father ration, half of everything that the father have in the home. Yesterday, I took the police there. He run. I need justice be done with
Ma'am,
this guy.
How old are you? How old are you? Now?
I'm 54 year.
How old are you?
He's 64 year.
64 years.
Yes.
It's not your son.
This is my son.
My son.
This is my son.
That is
You
your
all live
son.
in the same house?
No, I don't live with them.
Okay, let me just cut that.
Close up. Give a close up.
Please get close up for me. Please get close up here. Operator, could you please get close up for me? Please close up. Let's close up. This man, the late company. Get a close up from that. Yes. Now, what do you like me to do now? What do you like to I do now? What can I do for you now?
What I would like you to do for me,
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah,
Sharma, is to fight for justice for me with this child.
How long you know me, man?
I know you since I'm a little kid. I'm Mr. Boise, a Rokiam's daughter.
Boy,
Yes.
Yes, I know. So why it is so long to come to me?
Because it's now I get the fullness of everything that's happening to. Yes.
Okay. So it takes so many years to come talk to me?
Yes. I used to go in your home and help your wife with the salon and clean up and things like that.
Yes.
Yes.
You talked a couple of years ago?
Yes.
Yes.
The Rokia was a teacher.
Yes, yes.
That's my uncle.
That's right.
Yes.
And the
Tell me
rookie
what
who
you,
got
what you
killed
like,
at-
so finally,
In
finally
Ro-
what you
yes,
like.
they are
Lindo
my
Creek or
cousins.
Rokia?
Yes.
Finally what you like to see now, on this program, live program.
What I would like to
Yeah,
see?
what you like it. Like to see, finally.
I would like to see justice be
Yeah.
done. Justice be done with this boy.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yes, thank you.
So this is reported to Groves Police
Yeah.
Station?
Yes, it reports to Grove Police Station, but they tell me if I see the nearest police and I see the child, point him. But last it, I linger. I see him. He sells marijuana on the big market club.
You
Yeah.
give them a photo? They
Yes,
should
I
be-
give
they
them a
should be
photo. I give Kaichor a photo.
Okay.
I do everything I could. I need justice be done with this particular child.
Ma'am,
He's very disrespectful.
ma'am, thank you for your please stay.
Yes, that's the
Stay
child.
away, stay
Where,
away.
where
please.
does he work?
Yes.
Where does he work?
Stand
Marijuana
right.
seller.
Oh, man, stand right. Come next, please, next.
It's only marijuana.
Ma'am, what is your name, please?
Sure you-
Good
Yeah,
afternoon,
good afternoon.
viewers and everybody.
Yes.
My name is Caris King Sobers.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I'm from Buxton, but
Yes.
I'm living at
Yes.
230 South Road,
Yes.
Border,
Yes.
and I spend most of my time abroad. I have a son living in St. Martin's
Yes.
over 10 years, and he came home on the 2nd
Yeah.
of September, and it was good. Like Saturday was the 2nd, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like 5 days he was good and stayed just like that, trip out.
What? You sure about?
Like,
Died?
no, he trip out like he going crazy.
Okay.
So I take him to Dr. Harry,
Yes.
and it was worsened.
Yes.
And I take him to Georgetown
Yes,
Public
yes,
Hospital.
Yes.
And as I took him to
Yes,
Georgetown
yes.
Public Hospital,
Yes.
when I went there to see my son, a nurse pushed me and said that she was ordered to restrain me from seeing my child. I cannot see my son. I went
How old is
to
child?
see my
How old is child?
29.
20, okay.
I went and see Miss Walda Lawrence,
Yes.
and they say she were not there. And I went and see Mr. Adams,
Okay.
and he gave me a letter to go to the hospital. They refused to take the letter, so up to now I can't say what happened to my son. And I'm calling on the president of this country that I vote for her,
Yeah.
2050,
Yes.
and I'm saying it without regret. I will never cast another vote in this country until I
Why?
die, because this is ridiculous. I feel that I'm not a person. I feel that I'm not a Guyanese. I have a lot of problems, but I have to come. I will take a stage
Yeah,
because
yeah.
today I have to work,
Yeah.
and I don't have the time.
Yes.
But I will come here, different things that I was discriminated with my house, live on the road, and so much of bad things.
That's overtime.
And I'm,
hold on, yes,
I'm
yes,
very,
yes,
very
yes,
sorry that
yes.
2015
Yes, yes.
I have cast that vote for
Yes.
David Granger
Yes.
and Nagamutu. I'm
Okay.
very sorry about it. I'm sorry to tell them that. I'm speaking straight. I'm very sorry, and I would never do that again. I'm not a person.
Okay.
I'm very mad over it.
Okay. So
Mr. Sharma, I know you for years, and I respect you.
how come you know?
In the
Where
time
you-
of
where
the
you know me from?
in the protests
Yeah.
with Desmond Iceborn and all.
Oh, yeah.
All the time I was in there, I
Yes,
always
yes,
with
yes,
PNC and PPP
Yes.
story all over.
Yes.
So I think that's why they're discriminating me like this. But I don't
So you
like
know
it.
where we stay?
Yes, I knew
Yeah.
since you was over there.
That's right. Yes.
So I'm just asking that Monday morning I would like to go and see Mr.
But I'm still
George
not-
Lewis,
I-
and I need no
I
one to
still
block me.
actually will give you my support to us. I want my support.
But
I'm asking if you can help me.
Yeah. No, support the party.
Your party?
Yes.
What is it, your party?
Justice Sorrell.
Oh, I love justice for
Oh,
all.
yes.
Yes, thank
She has a
you.
letter here.
Yeah, let me hear what you read. Let me hear. Sit there. Yeah, hold on. Yes.
She has a letter here
Yeah, yeah.
from the advisor to the Minister of Health, Mr.
Yeah.
John.
George Lewis.
No, Mr. John
Oh.
Adams.
Adams.
Ah,
So she has to take this letter to Mr. Lewis, who is the
Okay.
CEO.
I went there
You went there. What did he tell?
twice.
What did he
He's saying
tell?
that
Yeah.
he's in a meeting, and the next day when I went back, they said this and that
they
today.
set
So
the
why didn't
time.
you hold
Every
on,
time.
why-
They set
why-
a time
why
for
didn't you
10,
go back to John and ask
10
him-
o'clock.
No.
No.
Go
They
back
said
to-
10 o'clock.
Go back
I must
to-
be there yesterday.
Okay.
I went there, and the girl
Okay.
says not
Why am I
there.
advising you?
Monica,
You
please
can
come back
go
to me.
Go to John and tell him what happened, and he will call him directly.
Yes,
That
he-
is his job. John is the advisor today. to the Minister of Public Health. Well,
Mr.
look at
Chairman,
here.
this is shameful. This is
Okay,
sad.
let it do what it is.
Very, very
Yeah.
sad in this country.
What do you like to say finally?
I mean,
finally?
in times, I never, from in Fabs Burnham time to now, I never go through something like this. I
Ma'am,
never see
what do you
something
like
like
to
this.
say
It's
finally? Finally,
terrible.
what do you like to say finally?
So you're originally from Buxton, you say?
Yeah.
What do you like to say finally? Finally.
I just need help.
Oh, you need help.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just
Need
want to
help
see
from
my
justice
son.
of all.
First of all,
Please come, please come
I
here. Come.
need to see my
You know
child.
her?
Yes,
Yeah.
but we all need help from justice for all.
Yeah.
That is what we need from you, Mr.
Yeah,
Sharma.
okay.
Yes, thank
Next,
you.
Next, please. Next,
No,
please.
he's
No, it's not me.
Oh.
Yeah, just.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. God bless you all.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Must give me a number.
Yeah. Good.
626.
626.
What is lady is saying and this woman is saying? It will person is saying they're very dissatisfied the way how the government operating.
But it's just,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
police force
Yes.
needs revamping,
Yes.
you know, what I'm saying, you're going to make a complaint, I lost,
Yes.
no, I had
I'll
a
call later.
cell phone stolen,
Yeah.
and nothing, you know, you got to
The
run
thing-
around.
Yeah, yes.
The thing I like about James
Yeah.
Patterson, he said that we
Yeah.
need to unite. That was his message.
Yeah.
He made a call for unity
Yeah.
in Guyana, and he says he's going to work
I'm
towards
sorry,
unity.
you are not allowed to complete your call.
Yeah. Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
And I appreciate that fact, that sentiment he expressed right away.
Okay.
Unity is a catchword, is a
Yeah.
byword that we need to push right now in Guyana.
Yeah.
Unity.
Call you near.
Hello, Mr. Sharma.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good
How you
afternoon.
doing?
Good afternoon.
Everything good?
Good, good.
Hey, now, I have a problem.
Yes. What is your
I
problem?
live next to my street, next to
Yes.
Central School.
That's around the corner from here.
Right.
Yes.
My brother-in-law was coming to come upstairs in the house.
Yes.
Two armed bandits robbed him, his cell phone and his money
When was that?
last night.
Last night?
Yeah, last night.
Oh, they had guns?
Yeah, they had gun and knife and so.
Okay. And what did you do? What did you do to him?
When we got to the police station, you gotta wait long.
Okay.
I always see rat and cockroach running.
Okay. Okay, bye. Sorry for that.
Oh,
Right?
Yes, yes, let me just see what they say. Tell me what happened. What they rob? What they take away? What they take away from
Money
me?
money and the phone.
The
We
phone.
need, we need the phone because the phone got lots of number. I
Okay.
don't know what really going on in this.
What is the phone? What is the phone number they carry away?
You must
What is
report.
what is the phone number they carry away?
The phone is 614.
Yes.
Is this the number, sir?
Yes.
Report it to the Digicel or GTT.
Six, no, G phone.
Okay.
Is it a GT&T or Digicel?
I is a GT&T, but
Oh.
we can't remember
What's
the
the
number.
number? Call
It's
it.
my
Read it.
brother-in-law
Okay,
phone.
okay,
Money
okay.
What's the
round.
number?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Report the loss to the GT&T.
That's right.
Call your name. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good
gentlemen.
afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
And I have two serious issues.
Yeah.
One is these shabby works that these people do at the school,
Yes.
where they're sent to do
Yes,
work at
yes,
the nursery school
yes.
and these other schools. So
Yes.
really shabby work without
Yes.
the
Yes.
administrative approval.
Yes.
They go and they get their money. God knows they get it too, they get it from because the government need a clock of work that when this work going on,
Yes.
they were able to get tangible
Yes.
money.
Yes.
Two,
Yes.
I believe strongly that I noticed the brother Ranger trying to assist with poverty in the school.
Yes.
That most of the children notice they're
Yes.
bringing things that
You're working very hard on that.
languages and
Yes.
what have
Yes.
you.
Yes. Yes.
My take on this,
Yes.
and I may not agree with it, I may like the brothers' input
Okay.
as I'm getting up TV, right?
What?
Now, you find that I believe strongly they should get a contract back with one of these companies.
Yes.
But recall we used to get this box milk.
Yes.
They need to get some company
Okay.
because what could produce this thing in
Okay.
this chocolate milk in this box. So
Yeah.
when you deliver 400 to this school for this month, it must be 400. Because what you find,
Okay.
some people complaining that
Okay.
I don't know, some called doggery passing somewhere. Because you're supposed to get so much pounds of Milo or something with this milk.
I didn't know about that. Milo gonna get Milo.
But
Pounds of Milo? I don't know. I didn't know about
The
that.
school.
already mixed up
Distribute
the
Yes.
Milo and
Okay.
the milk. So
Okay, okay.
you know from which part, which area they
Okay,
milk
okay.
from. It is You know, we got a
Yes.
lot of problems,
Okay.
and some people can't handle it
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
So I believe the best thing to do,
Okay.
because somebody getting a drawback somewhere.
Okay. Caller, thank you very much.
Contract.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, just now. Get this contract for a company
Yes.
that could
Okay.
milk
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
back. Because I believe
yes,
it would
okay,
cost
yes.
us less
Yes.
money,
Okay,
right?
okay.
And to get this thing coming,
Okay,
and then you got
okay.
this problem, you
Yeah.
got a proper
Okay.
to fix it, you got a
Okay.
proper kitchen,
Okay.
and police on the blood.
Okay, caller, thank you very much.
People but handling food, what
Okay.
I believe if you should go wrong and check some people's environment, you won't
Okay.
understand what I mean.
Okay, there needs to be more control there, yeah.
Okay.
So check these people. Some people are
Okay.
not a blood certificate, but
Okay.
they're feeding our children.
Yeah, that's
We
true.
need better management, but more control there.
Okay, caller, thank you very much.
Up and running, okay, sir?
Thank you. Rahman,
Thank you very much.
we want to say something about Justice Party.
Justice for all.
Yeah,
yes.
party.
Justice for all.
Party.
On party.
Yeah.
On the question.
Justice Party.
On
Yes,
the on
boy.
the question of justice.
Justice for
Justice
for all.
for all.
Yes. Yes.
Justice for all.
Yeah.
Now,
Like you say without Justice Party.
the
Why you so hesitant to attack the Justice Party? You're so hesitant.
because it has good. Its
What has good?
manifesto reflects a lot of things that this government is in their manifesto.
Who's the manifesto?
In the government manifesto.
Which government manifesto? That's my manifesto.
No, but a lot of these things here are inside
But that's
the
my
government.
manifesto.
I know, but I'm telling you.
How come it's a government manifesto?
No.
You're part of the government.
You're part of this government, so they include a lot of the things that you got here
Right.
into the broader
Okay.
coalition.
Right.
So you are a proud man
Okay.
because you have led this. You have led this. You've been leading on this thing for more than 10 years. So
10
thi-
years? 15 years.
Okay, 15 years.
15 years.
Right, good.
Yes.
So you're a proud man that
Yeah.
you have actually given birth
Yes.
to something that is new.
Yes.
This coalition.
Yes.
Right, good. So one of the things that you got here, which is about education, to
Yes.
guarantee every Guyanese
That's right.
free education from nursery to university.
University. That's right.
Mr. Burnham used to say from kindergarten
Yes.
to university.
Yeah.
But
I
it's-
changed-
but-
I got a little change in it.
But it's the same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
Same thing.
Yes.
Now, how could we get through? How could we get that? Free education.
Yeah. Free education. Very.
Mr. Burnham gave free education, which was true, wasn't it?
Yes.
At the time when we didn't had so much money like now.
And the time when we didn't have so much money like that, right? Somebody said to me this morning, I was a bit taken aback.
What is your comment about this?
My comment about this
Yes.
is that that's where we are heading. We're heading to from a disorderly society, a lawless society
Okay.
that was headed by Jagdeo.
Okay.
We close down the station just like that, unilaterally.
Yes, that's right.
You can't close down a man television
Yeah,
station
that's right.
and then you talk about democracy.
That's right.
Because there's a procedure. Have you done anything wrong?
Nothing wrong.
Did you do-
Until now, there's no evidence. No
That's-
evidence.
that is
no
dic-
evidence
that
at
is
all.
dictatorship.
Yeah, dictatorship, yes.
And he calls Mr. Granger a dictator, but Mr. Granger will never do that.
Okay.
I am positive.
Yes.
He would never close down your station.
Well, why do you want
If
to close
you-
why do you want to close down my station? Why do you want to close my station?
Who wants to close it down? Why they want to close?
They.
Why they close down? Jack?
Yeah,
They
yes,
close it down
yes, yes.
because you were telling the truth. You were exposing the rottenness of the Jagdeo regime. That's what you were doing, and you don't even realize what you were doing at the time.
Yeah.
Now you know consciously
Yes.
that you brought about the kind of consciousness in people so that they united to come together to get rid of that rottenness that we inherited.
Yes.
Isn't it so?
Okay.
So what? So
Make
we
your-
have
make
to
your point,
have.
make your point.
We have to, Mr.
Yeah,
Sharma,
yes.
give the government the opportunity, whilst we are critical here of things that they are supposed to do and they are not doing. We need to clean up that mess that was left by the Jagdeo administration. Listen to me. Jagdeo would not get the mass of people coming out and protesting on any street.
Yes.
Nobody will protest. You know
Yes,
why?
Yes.
Because they think he's a joke. Why would they want to
Yes,
come and
yes,
protest?
Yes.
To do
Yes.
what? To bring chaos? But the
Yes.
AFC is right.
Yes.
If we have civil disobedience in this
Yes.
country, he
Yes.
would be held responsible for doing that.
Yes.
Because there's nothing.
Live calling for
there
we
is-
can't discuss that now.
There is nothing
Bye.
that this government is doing
Yes.
that is dictatorial
Yes.
or that is harming
Or unconstitutional.
or unconstitutional.
Yes.
And because they can test these things in the court of law, as they did. The acting Chief Justice ruled against the President's interpretation of the Constitution. Do you remember that? Anil Nandlal and them were happy that she ruled in their favor. She didn't rule in their favor. She ruled in relation to her interpretation of the law. But so what we have seen is some positive change in the judiciary that is not politically controlled, as they would like to say.
But
Now, hold on. Do you recall when Jenny threw the coat out the door on her back and threw it to me?
Yes.
I know who said that, who supported it. But do not sing. It's a very, very good idea. Very good work to do. She did it. Very, very good. Do not sing.
But Dudnat Singh told me
Yeah.
that he was very annoyed
What?
when Jagdev built the Skeldon factory.
Yes.
Because he said that they went to India and they had an agreement with the Indian government.
Yes.
And the delegation included himself,
Yeah.
Rohi, Gail Tushare, and Jagdev. And he then reneged on that agreement that he had with the Indian government to build the Skeldon factory.
Okay.
That is why we end up, Jagdev unilaterally took that decision
See that?
to build the Skeldon factory,
that's why he cannot be trusted.
which is a fiasco. As Ramdatan said, the man went around 7 times in the, what do you call it, Maro?
Yes.
And then he then come out and say he was married.
Mazimari.
It's a disrespect for anything,
Yeah.
for the belief that he disrespected all those people who came to the wedding.
But you know, what is being hidden within all this brouhaha about this GCOM chairman? Local government commission has been
Put in place.
Put in place.
How about Ananala saying about these matters? Ananala, who former Attorney General.
What is he? Of course, he was saying what Jagdev was saying.
Yes.
I'm waiting to see what protest movement that they will put together.
I'm a pre-man Jensen.
Eh?
Pre-man Chen.
Look, none of these people, they're
Yeah.
all guilty of
Yeah.
prohibition of the law.
Okay.
Manik Chan also, they're now selling out the properties that they own.
Okay. They sell it
And
out?
They're selling them
Say,
out.
how you know
Yeah,
they
they're
sell it
selling them
out?
out.
How you know?
Yes,
How
I
you
know
know
that. I don't have enough
What evidence you have on
to
that?
bring to your station.
Okay.
But there is evidence
Yes.
where they're selling out the property.
They run away then?
Robert Prasad
Okay.
said that he can get back to the thing.
Okay.
All right, so he's on record
Okay.
saying that,
Yeah.
and they have annoyed with him.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, the cabinet took a decision to actually give themselves properties and what is called Proud Bill 2
Yes.
in total violation of the housing laws. So when you're talking about taking unconstitutional decision and breaking the law, these are perpetual breakers of the
So
law.
what have the DPP now? Who breaking laws to? DPP.
Look, you have two PPP.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll
DPP.
I'll come to the
Yeah,
DPP
DPP,
just
yes,
now.
yes, yes.
You got two breakers of law.
Yes.
You got Mr. Jagdev who is breaking all the laws
Yeah,
in this
yes,
country
yes.
and with impunity.
Yes.
And they use this. You see, it suits them when they use the Constitution for what you call immunity.
Yeah.
If a man does something wrong, if he's an elected person, he has to be punished.
Yes.
All religions say that if you do something
Yes.
wrong, you got to be punished.
Yes.
Why should we support, anybody in this country support the president who is supposed to,
Yes.
if he made a mistake, it's a different matter.
Okay.
But you consciously
Yes.
are violating the law and the constitution of your country, and then you ask for immunity.
Okay. Just
Now,
to keep it.
now the DPP.
Yeah.
Now, the DPP
Yes.
is acting in violation. It's a conflict of interest because
Why is it conflict of interest? Why you say that?
Because on the question of the housing,
Okay.
she got a house lot
Oh,
there,
so that's right.
knowing fully well that she and others who got the house lot
Yes.
is in violation.
Yes.
Because she has a house lot, and if you have a house lot, then
So
you
what
are not
the
entitled
government
to-
not take action against her?
why the government is not taking action
Yes.
against her. That's a
Yes.
very good question.
Yes.
Because the government, because her husband is the
What?
leader of the Muslim organization, and the government wants him to get the Muslims
Okay.
to support this government
Okay,
or their
okay,
party.
okay. I didn't know
which
that. I never
feel-
know that.
You never know that?
I know that.
Where you live?
I never in Guyana. I didn't know that.
How you don't
No,
know
I
that?
didn't know. I didn't know that. Yeah, so yes. yes, yes.
You can't play ignorance when you know something.
Yes.
Ignorance of the law is no
Yes,
excuse,
yes.
and that's what you're trying to play.
Yes, yes.
You know very well that her husband,
Yes.
Mr. Moon Al-Haq,
Yes.
all right, is the head, the president of the biggest Muslim organization.
that's right, that's
right. The PPP used them to vote for them.
Yeah.
This government came into office,
Yes.
right, and now they're trying to fraternize
Yeah,
with it.
yes, yes.
They didn't call on the Muslims
Okay.
as a body
Yes.
to support this government when it was in opposition, but they're now supporting the government, and that is why
now you
the
tell
government.
me your DP is a PVP.
I believe that they're opportunists. They don't stand for anything.
Okay.
Even the religion they believe they don't
Okay.
stand for. And you're going to hear people calling. I want that man calling who called me the other day
Okay.
when I was starting to talk about what they're not doing.
Take it DP.
Because
take DP to court.
The next
Yes.
time I sit on this program,
Okay.
I'm going to print out some emails from some brothers who said that they couldn't get the accounts of these organizations.
Okay, just take a take two more calls in here. Call in here. You talk not lot. Call in here.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
I agree with Mr. Granger on appointing
Yes.
Mr. Patterson
I agree with him too.
as the COM chairman.
I second it.
And Mr. Jadio got to understand
Yes,
it
that's
as
right.
president.
Yes.
And secondly,
Yes.
Mr. Ranjitan should be fired immediately.
Why he should be fired? He's a good man.
He's not fit for the job.
No, man, he fit, he fit.
Paul Slow would do a better job than that.
Pastor go now.
Paul Slow would clean the crime situation up and the police force up. And Paul Slow should be given the authority as Minister of Public Security immediately.
Junior minister, let him put him as
Solve that
junior
problem right
minister.
now in this country.
Okay.
Paul Slow is the man fit for the job.
You'd have a man there,
And
junior minister.
secondly, the
Junior minister.
wages increase is come at the right time and it should be paid before the 15th of next month.
Farmer commissioner now. Why do you want the farmer commissioner?
The farmer
Yeah,
commissioner,
yes, yes.
he should be fired.
The former commissioner?
Of
He
police?
home a long time
Yes.
ago.
Okay.
You mean the acting commissioner?
No, the former
Former
commissioner
commissioner.
who's a deputy minister.
Deputy, yeah, minister.
Immigration minister for
Yeah,
immigration.
immigration,
He went to.
Carl,
St.
thank you very
Martin
much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
When
much.
he had hurricane, he led it.
Call, you're near. Hello? Hello? Call again. Hello? Hello?
Yes, Mr.
Felix,
Shaw.
Yes.
Felix.
Yes, we're very satisfied with the decision Mr. Granger make,
Yes?
and we wonder when Mr. Jack is going to start on the keys, because he can make the place ungovernable now.
I cannot do that.
And it's now, Mr. Jack, you should be glad that Mr. Granger don't have an ounce of born and blood in him.
Okay. Oh, thank you very much.
True, true. Otherwise it
Call,
won't
you're
be
near. Call on near. Hello? Hello? Hello, caller.
Hello.
Yes?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I just want to comment on something that Saul said, that the Indian people don't have an ounce of love in their heart.
What?
I find that very
Don't have a what?
offensive.
What?
What did
What
you
he
say?
said?
I don't know what you're saying. Yeah.
Earlier you said that Indian people don't have love in their heart.
Okay.
That is very offensive.
Okay.
He said that? He didn't say
What he
that.
said?
He didn't say that.
He never said that. He was talking about African people.
Yeah, he didn't understand. He didn't say proper English.
And then you
Yeah.
objected to that, and you said
Yes.
you must say Guyanese.
Guyanese, I know,
And then
yes,
he
yes,
said
yes.
Afro-Guyanese.
That's right. Call in. Hello?
These fellas.
No. You can't have that.
Don't worry.
Forgive them for they don't know what they're doing there, right? Forgive
This
them.
is the kind of generation that Jack Deo.
Ramori, what is your comment for the education now? Lot of problem in the education ministry, in the Ministry of Education. Teachers and so.
Well, they
So the partner
they
there.
need to have meeting and
Yeah,
dialogue.
yeah.
They must have dialogue and
Yes,
trash out these
yes.
issues. Like one, for instance, they said they don't
Yes,
want
yes,
teachers
yes,
supervising
yes.
students during the
Yes,
lunch
yes,
break.
yes.
Something has to be done. The
Yes.
children can't just
Yes.
go. Anything can happen.
Yes,
That's
yes,
You still
yes,
need to have
yes,
one or two
yes.
teachers keep an eye on
Yes,
those
yes.
students. You know, they can rotate it every day, not the same teachers doing it. You know, so they can meet and reach a compromise. You know, it's so
Okay.
silly.
Mike,
Russell.
Rasta, Leanne.
Mr. Harmon
Yes.
says that because of the nature of talks between the government and the teachers union, it's going to be protracted over time. I have questions over that manifestation. Personally, the teachers and the teachers union have been militant and activists over years on their position. I find that the past government and this government has been reneging on their positions. Now, here it is. The teachers need redress. They need the debunching. They need their allowances. They need everything that's been promised to them. They're duty-free. The teachers need to be given special attention. And right now, the teachers are threatening to come out in action, which I don't think they ought to do, because teachers are so important to the molding of our youths. The government has got to pay heed to the teachers' cry. And as Mr. Hammond says, they're engaging them, but they got to speed it up. And right now, before this year is out, you got to give the teachers something. I like how they give the rest of public servants a wage increase and thing. I like that. But more people need to get some financial help.
I was listening to a call, the announcement of Harman died.
Who?
Harman died.
Yeah.
No, not Harman, not Harman.
Joseph Harmon.
No, the other Joseph Harmon
Yeah,
who
Joseph,
died
yes,
at
yes,
age 50. I don't know if he's
No,
related
but here it
to
is.
Is he
Here the
related?
unfortunate thing is happening on our roads.
yes.
This man, Joseph Harmon, stepped out of a minibus
Yes.
to give a space
And
to
Joseph
someone.
Harmon?
Right?
No.
Joseph Harmon.
Oh,
He-
my.
a namesake, a namesake. But when people hear that, some people start clapping, thinking that,
Yes,
honorable
yes.
minister, oh my
Yes.
God.
Oh.
Anyway, the
Harman
point is,
can't get Harman level live.
he's a strong African
Strong man,
spirit,
yeah,
yeah,
yes.
strong man. I
Yeah,
like his
strong man,
spirit,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
In fact, personally, if you ask me, I think he's the power behind the throne.
What?
If you ask me, because when I really watch the
I didn't know
optics of
that.
things, no.
I never know that.
Brethren, this politics we're dealing with.
Yes.
Mr. Harmon wields a big stick around
What?
here. Yeah. Let's face it, man.
Yeah, partner.
Look,
No.
look,
What is your portfolio really?
Okay, here, put it this way.
Yeah, what is your portfolio?
When they were in the opposition,
Yeah.
Mr. Harmon and Mr. Granger
Okay.
were like Surunduru,
Yeah.
Batimpo.
Yeah.
Good cop, bad cop.
Okay.
They play a nice game, and it brought them into power. Yeah, they were very slick in their approach to deal with that. And let's face it, Mr. Harmon has got a good spirit, and he's going to become a strong leader. And personally, if you ask me, I think he's going to become the next president of Guyana.
Ooh.
They're making space for Mr. Harmon to elevate himself
okay.
after Mr. Granger goes into retirement, become Mr. Granger.
How
They
do
say-
you know that?
Mr. Granger said that he's going to retire after one term.
What about Basil
And,
Village?
and I think Mr. Harmon is going to take over
I'm
when
going to bring Basil in.
Basil ain't ready yet.
What?
Basil ain't ready yet.
How you know that?
He's a good man, but he's not ready. He's too tempestuous. He's too intemperate.
Oh,
You know, he needs to cool out. He needs to get wisdom,
Okay,
like
you know wisdom?
Justice Patterson.
Okay.
You got to become like a man like Justice Patterson. This is why I like Justice Patterson. He's gone through the whole route, and he's got maturity. He's got wisdom. Look, Robert Mugabe runs Zimbabwe, and Robert Mugabe's in his 90s.
Okay.
You understand? And I don't like this thing that they keep dissing great people and old people. I don't like it. I think it's something called ageism, like sexism, like racism. We people that are beyond 60 years old have got something going for us. Expertise, experience, track record, wisdom, maturity, and we've got love, lots of love for our people. So give great people a chance, right? Give old people a chance. because they're
I
human
got to come
still.
back my hair now.
No, don't dye your hair. That's iconic.
Okay.
Like my beard, like his look.
Oh, what, you call your head in and see, or it's a black cap.
No. I like it this way.
Okay.
Normally I'd have a crown on my head.
Okay.
So this is my natural
Let me see
crown.
the crown. Let me see the crown.
Man, you ain't gotta see my crown, man. I got here and there.
Only girls can
But I
see
like this style. This is me style. So I was wearing my hat back to the front. Here, why is wearing my hat back to the
Yeah.
front?
Okay.
I'm going against the grain.
Yeah.
It shows that I'm against the system. Because Babylon's system has to fall.
Yes.
And Mr. Granger is trying his utmost best to change things in this country. You know, and that's what we got to look at. There's a Babylonian system in place, and
Yes.
democracy
Okay.
is being used to support this
Okay.
Babylonian
Okay.
system. And my position
Okay.
is that theocracy,
Okay.
which is the rule of God,
Okay.
the rule of divine principles, because whether it's Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Baha'i, or Rasta, we all subscribe to the tenets of the Almighty.
Rahman?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
wait
I-
till
I-
hold on. I wait till the cow party. The cow.
Oh,
The cow.
URP.
URP. The cow.
Vishnu
The cow.
Bandhu.
The cow.
That's the man that produced Dr. Leslie Ramsamy.
Yes, that's it. Let me hear
That's
about
the
it.
man that produced.
Yes.
And he's trying to come again
Yeah.
to fool the masses of
Now you
people.
call as a cow.
You come as a cow now.
A cow now, you come as a
So,
cow.
so what's it?
But a cow is a sacred animal in
It's a
Hindu
reincarnation
context.
of a cow. No,
Yeah.
it's
So
a
the cow
holy
is a
thing.
good, is a good animal.
So why did you think you wanted to have the cow?
I don't want your cow.
No, him. Why did he choose
You
the
want
cow?
milk for drink.
Oh, you wanted milk to drink.
You want drink milk? Drink
I
milk.
wanted to read something from you.
Yeah, yes.
From the editorial
Yeah.
of the Kaishore News.
Yes.
And it is captioned, "The people are vexed."
For vex.
I can't read the whole thing. That's what
Half,
that was.
you know, you don't.
No,
Half,
just part of it. I
Half
read,
part
just
of it,
one.
yes, yes.
It says the relevant part. It
Yes.
says, "No society
Yes.
can effectively survive or progress with traits of indifference, greed, selfishness, corruption, crime, nepotism, dishonesty, and a total lack of respect for the feelings of others. We have not advanced or tried to improve our status quo,
Yeah.
which unfortunately is closely linked to the colonial period."
Okay, good. Sankey, let me get touch of.
You know why I read that part?
Okay.
Because this is what Jack Day was trying to
Okay.
do. He's not trying to bring about unity. You see, it's important that we discuss this question. We all have a responsibility, isn't it? None of us here are elected officials. We're not councillors, we're not regional councillors, we're not members of parliament, we're not ministers. But we also, but
Okay.
we still have a responsibility as citizens
Okay, that's what thing.
to be here.
Okay. Sankey, when you're talking about the teachers now, and our teachers not get any justice. The teachers in this country.
Yeah,
A lot of problems. Teachers.
they have to have, as I said before,
Yeah.
they have to have dialogue.
Yeah.
There must be a meeting between the teachers' union
Yeah, yes.
and the Ministry of Education, and they can trash it out.
They don't have dialogue. They don't have proper dialogue
No,
with the teachers.
they have to meet and discuss all the issues.
Yeah.
They can reach a compromise.
Okay.
They can reach a compromise. You know, that is what bargaining is about, you know, and you know, they have to do it.
But the period teachers are strike, they said.
Civil servants got
Civil servants, yeah.
$3.5 billion.
The civil servants got quite a lot.
Yes.
In total,
Yeah.
In total.
But in terms
Yes.
of percentage, some people still think they should have gotten a higher percentage.
Yes, yes, you
But
got
then
it.
it depends on, there's not much money circulating right now. If you check with people for this month of October, you know, people were broke before the middle of the month, you know, they were broke.
Oh, wait, you must robbery, got in this robbery company, they start people food, they start everything, got it.
No,
They steal the carry, they see everything is stealing.
I'm sure every day at least 50 to 100 phones are stolen.
Yes, that's right.
And these guys go and sell it back for
Sell it
little
back,
nothing at
yeah,
all, you know,
yeah.
little or nothing. In the old days, you could go and retrieve it back from
Wait,
the-
what the car that was stolen inside the car other lights the scroll, the other lights the scroll. That's right, you got the license up on the car.
The way to deal
Yeah.
with it, with the phone thing,
Yeah.
is that you question people about, tell people when you buy a phone,
Yeah.
keep the receipt. So
No,
when,
they can- that
when
we did
you, no, but that's the only way
Yeah,
you
we
could.
did
You gotta
Yeah,
get
you
some
can know.
information.
You have to get
get some
information
And the
about
police
the
say they're
people who
only
are selling back
investigating
phones.
the costly phone, the
Yeah.
smartphone. They don't have time for every cell phone, because what will happen? We'll have
No
thousands
mango
of cell phones
pelters.
lost.
But people don't thief no mango pelters in any
But
case.
the police are not even doing nothing.
But don't we have
Sorry,
to?
they are not doing
no,
anything.
No, but don't we also as citizens have to be careful too about how we keep our phone? I see people walking about with a phone and they're texting on the road and, you know, these children and so on.
Yeah.
Don't we have to have some care with the things we have so we can protect them ourselves?
You hide
Police
it,
cannot.
No, I
No,
know.
but you can't
I
walk
know
around with a
somebody who
phone.
went into a person's house and left it on the chair outside, on the chair on the veranda, and it was stolen. So
Exactly.
you have to be careful where you
You
are.
have to be
That's the first
careful with
thing.
everything you have, not only your phone.
Yeah.
You know what I
You
mean?
be careful with the toilet bowl, they don't keep the toilet bowl now.
Keep it.
Valuable,
They
yeah,
will
so thieving
thief.
that now.
Thieving is a historical thing. You can't stop thieving, but we all have to put. No, we cannot stop stealing. We have to put measures in place to protect our
And
our
reduce
belongings
the incidents.
and incidents. We all have to do that. We have to be our brother's keepers, isn't it? So we have to. There are measures that needs to be taken. Look, I don't want to be overcritical with Mr. Ramjatan. Somebody said that he should resign. The truth of the matter is that Mr. Ramjatan does not understand really security. Being a lawyer does not mean to
That's
say that
I agree
you
with you, I agree
understand
with you, I agree with you.
security.
So
You have knowledge.
So you think maybe he and
I got one and a
Attorney Johnson
I have
exchange
said it.
positions?
I
Yeah.
said it over and over again, and I repeat it again.
Yeah.
People like yourselves who have got a lot of experience in policing, community policing,
25 years in policing group.
your knowledge, your skills, they don't have to pay for.
They are paid, they are
They
not paid
need
for
to recognize you.
He should have been Minister of Public Security then.
They need to recognize you and bring you into a forum where you can have regular
yes,
discussions.
discussion, that's
Mr. Ramjatan is not doing his job. He is not. He's not a commissioner of police.
I was
He,
a very,
he
very,
is supposed to be making laws, proposing laws
Aye.
and policies and programs that better the
I
protection
used to
of
be a
people.
very, very
Look
favorable
at
But he's-
policy.
but he's not-
how many
Yeah, yeah.
needed a
He
police
is not.
station.
Well, okay,
years.
okay. Let me talk about it. I'm glad you raised
Yeah.
it. Let me talk about it. I was coming in the car
Yeah.
and I was saying I will raise that issue.
Yeah.
When the people went on a citizens
Friday, yeah.
Friday meeting with the commander on the west coast of the Marar. I saw him speaking there too. I tried to get that same commander for us to have a discussion, a forum
Which
discussion.
commander?
The same commander on
James?
Mr. James, Leslie
Okay.
James, about having a committee with the police set up so that we can have regular discussions, bringing people from the whole region and discussing the problems and issues. And if people know that we have those kinds of meetings regularly, the citizens will come with their problems and difficulties and they will suggest ideas, practical ideas, bringing people like you. When people talk about the problems, you say, hey, look, this is what we need to
Yes,
do. Yeah, that is not, Mr. Ramjatan is not including the people in the discussion,
Yes.
in the big debate. People are losing things every day. People are very afraid. They are living in fear, not knowing what is going to happen to them the next minute, even in their own homes. So how are we going to deal with that? The police can't be standing in everybody's home, but we have to have better connection. Each of the policemen need to have their mobile phones or a central mobile phone where they can
I
call
need to understand the police are still into. The police.
their police.
Some police,
There
some
needs
police,
to
some
be-
police still in.
There needs to be, look, you raise a very
Yeah, yeah.
important point. You are right what you say.
Yeah.
We have delinquent policemen in the police force.
Yes.
But how do we deal with that? The issues to deal with it. You have to have decoys in the police force, all right, that can sort out the delinquent policemen. Not all the policemen and women are bad. Just make that point. The police are there to protect the citizens, and we have to respect that. And we have to give due. They need to raise their salary, need to get good housing conditions. They have children, they should send to proper
The
schools.
police salary should be 100% increase in police salary.
Yes, a police
Yeah.
salary. And
100%,
also the
100%.
opportunity for them to
Yes.
educate themselves and get better training.
Training.
So we have to respect the police and we have to give them due.
So
But
what are some of the
Mr.
training what some of the training you're talking about?
They need to, listen, I've spoken to a lot of policemen, they can't communicate, meaning that they can't read and write properly.
Yeah.
And they don't read, they don't study.
Okay.
All right? I have a lot of friends in the police force, very young ones who I talk to. So I know these things that are happening. They're very disgusted. You have a police federation that does not function. It doesn't function. So it cannot represent the police like a trade union. The trade union federation, the police trade union federation, is supposed to be a body that represents the issues. If you talk to young policemen, I'm sure Mr. Ramjatan does not talk to the young policemen to find out what are their problems, what are their difficulties. Does he talk to the female policewomen to find out whether they get harassed?
Alright, yes, right.
Does he know that?
He knew that. I don't even
He doesn't have time for that because he does not understand about management and about how to deal with this section of our society that is very important. The police and policing are very, very important
very,
sector
very important.
in
very
our
important,
in our lives.
That's right,
And we
that's
have to treat them well. We have to respect what they do,
Okay.
and we have to listen to what their grievances.
Russell, I'll get some view from you, quick.
Well, my view right
Yeah.
now is that our country is at the crossroads.
Yeah.
The bigger picture is oil and gas looming on the horizon.
yes.
But the most immediate thing
Yes, yes.
is the fact that
Yes.
our politicians can't seem to get it right to be working together cohesively in the interest of all Guyanese.
Yes.
They're playing us for suckers. They're using us as pawns in a game, in an end game that satisfies them. And I don't think I want to be collateral damage or cannon fodder. I'm serious. So what we got to be working on now is educating the masses, making them more conscious and making them more can see what's happening around them, because there are people who want to pull the wool over our eyes so they can lead us up the garden path with a roll, with a ring in our nose.
Okay.
The point I'm trying to make is this. For 750,000 people in a country that has so much potential wealth, we are not doing too well really right now. So it brings us to the point of what's our economic condition and what's our economic vision.
Okay.
And why it is that the private sector commission cannot really play a prominent role in developing this country. Why are they stashing the money? They got the money. A lot of these people in the private sector commission have got lots of money.
How you know that?
$300 million.
Man, you do a census and you call their names.
Eh? Let me how you
How I know that?
Yes.
$300 billion
How you know that?
are in the
How you
banks,
know
the
that?
commercial banks.
How you
Here,
know that?
okay.
How you know that?
Here.
I know that because I-
Ask me again how I know
How
it.
you know that?
GBTI
Yes. Let me hear.
is a gangster bank.
What?
They've been money laundering all
Be careful,
over the
no,
years.
no, no.
GBT, no, I'm serious. GBTI
Yes.
has floated the court's order and have been held in contempt of court. The people say, we want to see some records of all these people been moving money through your bank, washing your money, washing the GDRB, GRDB money through the bank.
Well, you
And
can't
they,
say
you
that.
know,
You can't say that.
No,
look,
you can't say
Red,
that.
Let the matter be
okay,
settled.
well, it's going to be
Yes.
found
Let
out.
the matter be
But the
settled.
point is, the mere fact that these members of the board put up such a stiff resistance to dealing with the case makes a lot of red flags rise up. No, listen to me.
Cannot say to you,
All
you
right,
can't say that.
okay.
No, you can't say that. No, no, I disagree with that.
I withdraw the statement, but
Yes.
they're very
You
suspicious.
got to withdraw it now.
Yeah, I withdraw it. But
Yeah.
hear this.
Yeah,
But
yes,
for the hear this.
yes.
GBTI is owned by the Bihari Group
Yes.
of Companies. I can recall years
Yeah,
ago.
Carlton James is the director.
They were shipped out
Yes.
some sweetie to foreign, and them sweetie was cocaine wrapped in sweetie.
How you know that?
It was in the news.
News never true. News of
Don't worry.
It wasn't
That's
fake
fake.
news.
fake news.
Was it?
That's fake news.
That they were Chico sweets that got
No,
discovered
no,
that
that's
cocaine
fake news.
inside?
That's fake news.
All right, well, what look at that fake news.
Yeah, let me see.
First 2 cannabis license granted, and this from the Jamaican
Yeah,
Gleaner.
yeah.
In fact, today's papers got that Peru just licensed medical marijuana.
Medical marijuana.
Yeah, here it is.
My one is marijuana
here it is.
boy.
The Cannabis Licensing Authority, CLA, has granted the first 2 licenses for participation in Jamaica's medical marijuana industry.
Medical marijuana.
Everything Oily Labs Limited has been issued a license as a processor, while Epican is licensed to cultivate. Chairman of the CLA, Hyacinth Lightbourne, says another 3 applicants have been approved for licenses. Why it can't happen here? Meanwhile, Agriculture Minister Carl Samuda is commending the CLA for being diligent and unswerving in its approval process. Samuda noted criticisms about the pace of approvals, but said Jamaica must ensure it does all due diligence to ensure it continues to be a part of the global cannabis industry. You hear that? The global cannabis industry. However, he cautioned that while the board should be careful, it must also be swift, as other players globally are moving ahead with their cannabis products. And what we doing here in Guyana?
Exactly what you gonna say
All
about
we
it.
doing in Guyana is putting people in jail.
What are you going to say about this oil now? Let me hear about the oil now. Let us spill in around the place. They say let us spill. They're going to get us
Well,
spill.
I think.
There's a big problem.
Yeah.
Biggest problem.
Minister
is
Harman-
There will be oil spills.
Yeah, yeah.
No, but that is, we need to educate
Yeah.
ourselves so that we know how to
How can
handle.
you educate?
We need to know
How you
that.
can educate people now? Educate
It needs to be done.
Yeah.
It
How
needs
do
to
we
be-
how do we
I
get
think
that?
Mr. Harman himself admitted we are not strong in that area.
Okay.
And we need to strengthen our knowledge
Which
and
in Harman?
expertise.
Which in Harman are you talking about?
Joe Harman.
Joe
Joe
Harman.
yeah,
Not the
yes.
dead Harmon.
Yeah, okay.
No,
then.
no.
Minister
The
of State, the
minister.
Minister of
Minister,
State.
Minister,
Minister Harman.
Oil and gas.
Yeah.
We saw a spill in Trinidad
yes,
recently.
Yes.
And we need to take.
What damage you define? What damage you put the fountain up? But that spill. Damage.
No, it can. Well, I don't know what happened in Trinidad, but it will affect fish life and.
I don't know about
everything.
fish life. I do. I like
and,
the damage.
and also drinking water,
Drinking
for-
water,
and
yeah.
all of that. But
Yeah.
people are looking at everybody's clamoring for this oil, but the oil is essential to keep that balance in nature. You know what I'm saying? It's just like your car. Your car But if it has no oil in it, you know what will happen? The car will seize up. And people are afraid that in the long term we'll have earthquakes and whatnot.
What I was saying, wait, if you get oil now, like you get that oil now, you drop or you go up.
Mr. Sharma,
Yeah.
while we look into the oil,
Yeah.
this thing I just read about is
Yeah.
more important because the land will never go away. The sunshine will never go away. The rain will keep falling. We have to put more of a focus on our land and agriculture.
Agriculture.
Because personally, if you ask me, we can make more money from selling hemp and selling ganja than selling oil.
Mr. Rama,
Yeah.
you were
the long
doubting.
run.
You were doubting what he was
Yes,
saying.
yes.
Look, in this paper, Saturday,
Yeah.
October the 7th.
Yes. Yes.
U.S. $5 billion plus Venezuela rights deal probe.
Okay, okay.
Suco investigation stalled as bank holds out
Okay.
on information
See
despite
that?
court order.
See that? See that?
Who is the chairman of GBTI Bank?
Robin Stobie.
Robin Stobie.
But
Who is he?
They
Who
pay
is he?
before the
The lawyer,
judge.
yeah.
Who's the lawyer for?
He's not,
Yeah,
an,
Tony.
he's not an ordinary lawyer.
That's what they
He's a multi-millionaire lawyer. You go to him, he charges millions of dollars. So he's a senior counsel.
senior cost, that's right.
Right. Who represents him at this next Thursday? Who's the man that represents him?
Nigel Hughes.
You know,
Nigerians.
your lawyer,
Free.
Nigel
Nigel
Hughes,
Hughes, yes.
represents him. Listen, the conflict of interest. Nigel Hughes and this same man, Mr. Stobie,
So,
working in the same law firm.
Office.
yes, yes, that's right.
Hughes
And until
Stobie.
he removed from the building, Mr. Stobie, and gone to another building, they were in the same building. All right?
Okay.
So the point is this.
Incestuous relationships.
How far must the public, Joan Public and John Public, go to get justice in this country when you have that level of corruption?
An
Mr. Dominic,
incestuous
Mr. Dominic
Yes.
Gaskin
Yes,
said,
Dominic, yes.
you said it the last time that
Yes.
the AFC is not bribable. I want to challenge him to come on this television
That's what
station.
they said they're
Let
not
me
bribable.
prove to him how bribable they are.
The
All the
Cummings-
politicians
the Cummingsburg
are
Accord-
bribable.
The Cummingsburg Accord is the
And
biggest
how
bribe
they
took.
have received. You have never received any money from any rich person
Never, never,
on
never,
your
never,
campaign.
never,
I
never,
know
never,
that.
never, never.
I can vouch for that.
I never, never, never.
All the political
That's right.
parties have received
Received
money,
money. I never
No,
from,
no.
from rich people.
not our party.
Not your party.
Oh.
The
You got a
rich,
party?
for rich people.
Healing the Nation Theocracy
And
Party,
when you-
HT.
You got a party?
Yes,
Which party?
Mr. Rama.
HTNTP.
Yes.
Healing the Nation Theocracy Party.
Mr. Rahman, I need to ask you a question. How come
With the lion symbol.
the GMC chief co-accused freedom fraud charges? Weren't you a witness in this case with the former judge?
No. That's
Oh,
to do with
GMC.
the that's not a
Oh,
board.
that's not the rice board.
That's not a
Okay,
rice
okay,
board.
good.
But I had challenged the reasons why he got off was because there was not proper investigation done on the evidence.
Okay.
If you get cock and bull people like what who just talking about who got no interest, they are bribable. If you can bribe these lawyers, you can bribe magistrates in this country, you can bribe
I didn't know
you
you
can
can do all of that.
you can bribe judges
I
in
didn't
this
know that,
country.
none of that.
You don't know that?
I didn't know that.
Okay, well you know now,
They
right?
say they could bribe them or buy them.
They are bribable,
Buyable.
unbuyable.
Yeah, you can buy them.
Yes,
Okay.
the
Not
lawyers,
buyable. They
the
never
judges, and the magistrate.
Yeah, okay.
What did you think Sir Fenton Ramsay said? That he would not practice in this country because he does not want to go in front these people to do what? To plea what? He said all of them got to go back to law school. This is a man who set up the law school in the Caribbean.
But,
Sir Fenton Ramsay.
You're the Harman set up a law school.
Who?
What's that?
Harman set up a law school.
Who set
No,
up law
I
school?
think they're in the process of Attorney General Williams.
No, that's at the law school.
Yeah.
The law school has been set up already.
Okay.
I mean, in
J.O.
the Caribbean, they're
Haynes
trying to set
Law
up their,
School.
their own school here,
Yeah.
which I think is a waste of money and time. A waste of money and time. Why do you want more lawyers in a country that doesn't have less than 1 million people? Don't you see how many people coming out of law become lawyers?
Yeah.
You can't find job for them. You can't find jobs for them.
They charge a lot of money.
And they charge money to the poor people. You know, the people can't afford, Mr. Sharma.
Okay.
That's why they come to you
Yeah.
for justice. And you need to recognize that.
I recognize that.
After this program is finished,
Yeah.
people call me up and they come to my house. Seriously. for problems that they've been to lawyers and they can't get their matter solved. And
I
this-
found the same problem.
Look,
I found the same problem.
Look, we have to come to this situation now where justice in this system, in this country, is far away. And Mr. Granger needs to do something about these lawyers. Okay, I'll tell you what he can do. In England, when you go and see a lawyer, he sets out he takes notes of your case, and he tells you whether that case is winnable or not.
That's right.
And then he or she charges you on, if they send a letter out, they charge you on the side of it, you see a letter. You come and you have to attend the court, they tell you, and they set it out. And they write to you
That's right.
to tell you how much they charge you and what they charge you for.
That's true.
I don't think.
Look, nobody in this country, you ask him, you do a census and you will see, the poor people in this country have no justice.
And they're
And the
being fleeced.
lawyers are the lawyers.
So-
Every single one. Christopher Ram, who was president, he became the president of the Bar Association.
Yes.
He did absolutely nothing to bring the lawyers to book, and you cannot report any of these lawyers to anybody, any agency to get justice from them. When I was in England, I got lawyers debarred because the Bar Association in England doesn't make joke.
Yeah, very poor.
You can complain to
Yes.
them, and they call the lawyers to an investigation.
Yes.
So that's why you have a high standard, Mr. Sharma, in those countries. Even in Little Trinidad, the kind of nonsense that goes on here does not go on in Trinidad. There's a man who's practicing law who was debarred by the Bar Association,
Yeah, I
the
know.
Caribbean Bar Association, and it was found out that he's still practicing law here. You know how I know that? Because a lady came to me with her case, and I told her to go to him.
Are you a liar?
I
You're not a liar?
have paralegal training, Mr. Sharma, for your information.
I didn't know
That's
that.
something you don't know.
I don't know.
Yes,
It's a
yes.
secret.
No, it's not secret.
What?
You must not show off with what you know.
Okay.
It's not a good thing to do.
Okay.
You must use your knowledge in the best interest of people.
Okay.
You must share knowledge.
So what
with
we're
people.
seeing here is just a tip of the iceberg.
I don't know what you're saying, but the point is that I'm just trying to explain to you.
You know what it is, but-
I just read the Constitution to you.
Hello?
You don't need a lawyer to read a lawyer with an LLB to read the
Hello?
Constitution and interpret it. You don't
Yeah,
need
but
a
I-
judge to do that. You know what I mean? So all of us,
I'm doing a live program. I can't talk to you
they
right now.
treat
Bye.
us, the lawyers in this country treat us with
Yeah,
contempt.
That's
And
right.
That has to stop.
I agree with that because I have a personal situation where I
You
was,
can go to the court and represent yourself under what is called the
yeah,
Mackenzie
yeah,
law.
yeah.
But
You know what's the Mackenzie law?
What is Mackenzie?
The Mackenzie law was a case that was tried in Australia, where a man didn't have money to pay a lawyer,
Okay.
and he took his friend, who's an intelligent fellow, to represent him in the
Okay.
court of law. And the judge admitted him, for the first time, admitted him to speak on behalf of his friend, and judgment was given to him. He was told what the procedures are. You will speak first, other person will speak first, then the other person will speak again, rebut, and so on. He explained to him the procedure, the legal procedure, the court procedure.
Okay.
And as a result of that case, we have what
Let's
is
take
called
some calls now, right?
Mackenzie law.
Let's take some call in here. Call your name. Hello?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
No, the teachers are already overboard.
Yes.
Why burden them further?
Yeah.
There is an opportunity for a policy.
But you speak a lot, I can't hear you.
Here is an
I'm now hearing you.
There is an opportunity
Yes, yes,
to be put in place
yes,
to have recess chores
yes,
or lunch breaks chores.
yes, yes.
And in doing so, it will also provide employment for a few persons.
So you mean
days
that,
a week? How many days per month?
Okay.
About 20 hours per month?
Okay. So I can answer the question.
It
So-
would be enough.
Yeah, yes.
so you said the lunch break sure it should be somebody outside of the teaching profession?
I'm not saying who it should be. I leave that to the Ministry of Education or the policymakers to determine and decide that.
Okay.
Because even that will present to its own kinds of challenges. But
Yeah.
the problem to be solved
Yes.
is having not having the teachers so burdened. They're having their lunch. They have to stop to deal with complaints
Yes.
and all manner of things.
Well, suppose some teachers take an early lunch early, and then they
I
take
don't
they
think
take
that
turns. They
will
take turns,
that
rotate.
will not be
Okay.
the best solution. We need a long-term solution for the situation.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much for your comment. Call your name.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Sharma.
Good afternoon. Yes. Yes.
afternoon.
Afternoon.
I would actually talk too much about the teachers part because Mr. Hammond said that it's not finished yet. It
Okay.
has to be finished.
Okay.
I don't know why you actually take teachers to look after the children when they depend on lunch. When the teachers need lunch too, or are they robots? They could actually hire some robots from outside and actually pay them the salary that they pay them. I don't know.
Okay.
Because these people is human. I don't know if Mr. Hammond goes for lunch break or if he look off the other rest of ministers when they're doing trash, especially the Minister of Agriculture. However, that was just a laugh to be with it.
Okay.
The public servant,
Yeah.
they given we raise a pay without consent that came from the GPSU. And GPSU, I don't know why Mr. Patrick Yard is there. I know he's an older folks. I have nothing to do with older folks. But he's in this system for the longest while, and we're not getting the government, whether it change or it's not change, Alliance for Change, Apno for Change, any change. This man ain't getting nothing done. All we getting is government.
Okay. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do when you the election chairman?
Well, the election chairman is just a chairman. He has a big responsibility
Okay.
when it comes just after
Yeah.
president.
Yeah.
However, again, I don't know which what you are talking or what you were actually asking Mr. Sal when you saying that we trust Jack Dio. The only thing I trust on Jack Dio is nothing, and there's not nothing much
Okay.
because he actually do so much that he says. But when you do the whole actual fact, if you do a COI on Jack Dio, you might gotta see an next I for him. Because he ain't got no I in it. He only got ME, which is he.
Okay.
Right? He can run this country ungovernable. It's not that what the PPP actually said the PNC was doing. They were making the country ungovernable.
Yeah.
Now he's going to go on the air for tell them that he's not going to cooperate. He got all the businessman right now not cooperating. That's why everybody got problems.
Okay.
That's true.
And now he can actually say that he's not cooperating. He wasn't cooperating in the first place.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Because now that
Yeah,
you
yes,
can't get
yes,
in your
yes.
own way, you're like a fire
Yeah.
brat. If
Okay,
you want
okay,
comfort,
okay.
you got enough buys out there who got comfort to Mr.
Yeah,
Jack
yes,
you.
yes.
Go, you get enough
Yeah.
comfort in. Right? But if you can actually
Yeah.
continue to be racial
Okay.
on your same tactics, on your same ethicness and everything, Mr. Jack, dear, please find a car now.
Okay.
We need a country to
Okay.
run the way it's supposed to be. Mr. Patterson is just 84. I know
Yes.
he's an old
Just 84. That's right.
he is
Yes.
not
Yes.
nothing to do with politics,
Yes.
even though Mr. Christopher Ram is
Okay.
actually saying a lot on the television and in different programs.
Okay.
I used to admire him, but then after when I see on the list, and then after he's not added to the list, and then for listen to him now from this point, it seems like if he's a next German soup maker.
What did Joe sing? What do you think what Joe sing?
Well, Mr. Joe Singh had the time, and he is doing an excellent work, and he has done an excellent work for all what he has done.
Okay.
He served our country well.
Yeah.
We need new faces. We want to put them same square pegs in round holes to continue showing we that it's leaking. We need round hole to get round pole, and square holes to get square poles.
Okay,
Why stop all these things?
Thank you,
Now,
thank you very
I'm good with what the GRA is
Thank you
doing
very
there,
much.
making
Okay.
sure that people pay the tax.
Okay.
As the junior minister is there, he can tell you too,
Okay.
they have found so much
Yes.
things that actually finished from
Okay.
some of the COI and still finding.
Okay.
However, I don't like what the Sarko's doing. Soko's doing,
Yeah.
because they're just picking up people and then bring them to court
okay.
without enough evidence, and then after big time the magistrate loosen
Okay.
them, and
Okay.
all we look like is making baby
Okay.
party
Okay.
in parliament.
Okay.
These people supposed to be
Okay.
persons of intellectuals.
Okay.
That's why I'm
Yeah.
assuming, because like
Oh,
Mr.
okay.
Mr. Raman said earlier, these people are liars.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
if you're a liar, mean you have
Yes,
to get
yes,
a
yes.
bachelor's
Yes,
in law.
yes.
That's why you're there.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Eventually, if they continue doing that, just pick up the people and hold them for 72
Okay.
hours, let the magistrate lose them because they're making the thing a whole laugh. In
Okay.
fact, we don't have politics.
Oh, wait, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Ian Sharma television station program.
Okay. Thank you. Well, we have the Honorable Minister Jayapal Sharma. Here's some of his view. Jai, let me hear some of your view.
No, well, the caller just mentioned
Yeah.
about case
Yes.
which was
Yeah,
apparently
yes.
it was thrown out,
Yes.
and that is the Hassan Mata,
Okay.
the former general manager
Yes.
of Guyana Marketing Corporation. But it's not as the caller put it. That is how the people see it. That the Special Organized Crime Unit
Yeah.
did not do a proper job. When the Special Organized Crime Unit take one of the investigation, the forensic audit that I would
Yeah.
have undertaken, and they investigate thoroughly, it have to go to the police legal advisor, which is the senior counsel and former justice. Then it goes to the DPP who interrogates it. How could it reach to the court and there's no evidence? So it's not a case where they didn't have evidence. It's a case where the witnesses did not turn up.
Or give conflicting
And
evidence.
when they do turn up, they lied. And so, the court system should ensure that those persons that perjure themselves is made an example
Charge for perjury.
and be put before the courts and in prison.
Yeah.
So you would not use the judiciary and the legal system as a mocking stock. So that is my take on it. So the chief magistrate, yes, she dismissed the case, but I believe we had a very strong case.
Could you appeal that
And,
case?
Well, I'm going to be looking at that.
You need to appeal
So
that
it's a
case.
case where even the prosecutor is a police prosecutor. I said I want special prosecutors. And so special prosecutors should be dealing with that matter. And so we may have to look at it again.
Caller, you're near.
You
Hello?
need to appeal the case.
Caller, you're near. Hello?
Back the first one.
Caller, you're near. Hello?
Mr. Brother Sharma,
Yeah, you talk already, man.
hello,
Yes.
Thomas.
the younger one,
Yes.
younger Sharma Jr.
Minister,
Yes,
man.
yes.
Minister
Now,
Sharma.
I listening and I like,
Yes.
listen carefully. That's
Yeah.
kind of like to criticize, but
Yes.
it must be constructive.
I'll be criticized.
No.
No problem with that.
That's the best thing.
That is your rights. That's your rights. That is your rights. Yes.
Now, if the president, the opposition would not cooperate
Yeah.
with the president,
Yeah.
and he would make an unrest in this country,
Okay.
then what are we got? What system do we have in place so that we could pass laws and bills without the opposition?
Okay.
This is one.
Yes.
No, people don't understand. No, on this earth, we need something to function.
Yeah.
What we call education.
Yes.
We come from God with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding.
Okay.
When a baby born, you don't have to go to school to know you want his mother breast. You don't have to go to school to attend school to know that you defecate or you urinate. You come with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. If we got qualified people who were going to teach our children, I always said to you men, these teaching profession and the medical institutions supposed to be the highest paid organization. Why? We need our teachers to teach our children so that when we migrate from school, we could get a job like the junior minister of finance because he had to attend school.
Yeah.
And nobody, it isn't fair for no teacher to leave all lunch break to go and watch anybody looking and running around.
Okay, okay.
Because no matter what you look, they let
Okay.
you go.
Okay.
All right? Now,
Yeah.
what I believe should happen
Yes.
is that they should, what should happen, really should happen, is that we should pay more attention. Go around, we used to get these juvenile
Okay.
delinquent when children and go to school.
Okay,
and
that's
go
true,
around
that's
and,
true, that's
you know,
true.
the olden days.
Yes, yes,
We need to
yes.
bring that back on
Okay.
the street so that we don't have to look at the children. The reports will come from the school to the parents and from
Okay.
the parents to the children
Yeah.
in the school.
Okay.
Because today we got a different generation. I am saying to you people, you all should make representation that the cell phone must be taken away
Okay.
from children.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much.
When
Thank
they
you.
go home,
Yes.
they would follow their own work on
Okay.
the cell phone at home.
Okay.
You need to take it away from the children at school.
Thank
When
you.
I first
Thank
got
you
to
very
my
much.
divorce just
Yeah.
now,
Thank you very much.
took my daughter there.
Okay.
First week I become a member of that
Okay.
because you know me like to talk.
Yes.
Anyhow, there was a PTA meeting where one child at Farm 2 students, a female,
Yes.
put a Farm 4 male to
Yeah.
reach a downstairs behind the board, behind the door for sexual activity.
Oh, yes.
The brother was so honest enough that he gave the teacher the note.
Yeah.
and the teacher just swooped down with some other students. The little girl did at that party, she got his 1 foot cock up, she did waiting on the brother for come and, maybe for crank she hinges.
Okay.
The teacher can't look at these children all the time. They got to eat their human beings. And what I believe should happen, those unqualified teachers need to step out and go and get themselves qualified before they continue in the profession. God they find when they get allowance, they get more than the qualified teachers. So they don't mind for qualify themselves. But we need to look at that. That is the most best in the most wrong hole we got in this country.
Thank you very much.
Qualify themselves. If you're not agree with me, I will be listening for you.
Okay, thank you very much. Call you here. Hello?
Mr. Sharma.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good
I'm glad to see Mr. Jaipal.
Yes.
I want to explain something.
Yes.
I just want to even see how they say farm. Yeah, they build a bridge right in Oakville there. When they don't finish the bridge, before they build the bridge and cover up the bridge, they put a cat in it. They should have dig the fence. But actually see the bridge there, because when they're ready for dig it, men got to go with shovel and dig on it. There's enough money you're talking about, but it's money.
Okay, then thank you very much.
No, where's the bridge? Where's the bridge? Take a look.
Ogle, they build a bridge.
Ogle.
Yeah, look, they must be got this. I see Jaipali make a tell you all this. Got to the man use man. You don't mix matter.
So Ogle, you see? Okay. Ogle.
Ogle, they build a bridge. They are almost finished. They didn't open yet. But before they build the bridge.
Which part of Ogle? Ogle.
Before they cap it over, they should get an excavator and dig the inside. It's very difficult to dig the bridge. Because now. And he just don't dig already. Men got to go with shovel and pull out all the slush mud from the. I will pass and check it, man. Investigate. But
I will come.
No, which part of Ogle? Which part of Ogle?
Ogle, before you get the old years, for the line of itself, the train line.
What part is that?
The train line.
Train line,
embankment.
embankment bridge, yes. I saw that bridge. It's been under repair.
Call it, thank you very
It's
much.
under repair.
Yeah,
Call in here. Hello?
But what did he say
Yes,
about
good afternoon, Sean.
Good afternoon, yes.
Concerning the people who got a house broken down,
Yes.
the Constitution Article 20 states very clearly every citizen has the right to proper housing accommodation.
That's right, I agree with you.
So if you break down from what the barely got, and you're providing something more, you're violating the Constitution. God ain't got open the Bible, you know. All you gotta do is take Guyana Constitution and the photo people sign, and most of the officials, they're going in hell. God ain't got open the Bible. Just use Guyana Constitution. Because the amount of rights to the people that are there, for everything, the rights are there, you know. But none of the people who signing the oath is reading the Constitution.
That's true what
I
you
can
say.
tell you that for a fact.
You must see show you my manifesto. Check my manifesto. Check my manifesto what you say about the housing.
Manifesto
Thank you very much.
on housing.
Well, if the call is only endorsing the government position, because what the government is
Show everybody a house, what they
indicating
have
is
house, what they have
that you
house.
must have proper housing. So you must not squat. That is not proper. And so when you give in a house lot, it must be something that you can be proud of. And something that is conducive for human beings.
Housing, low-cost housing will be
That's what is my manifesto.
Low-cost housing. To meet the demands of the Guyanese society, land at reasonable cost will be made available. Land at reasonable cost.
Call you in here. Hello?
What's happened?
Hello, call you in here. Hello?
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Sharma.
Good afternoon, yes.
The former Chief Justice, did he not rule that this Constitution, that the amendments that was made to this Constitution by Mr. Javier and the opposition in 2002 or 2000, did he not rule that it's illegal and it's not?
They must have rules. They must have rules somewhere. Yes.
So therefore, enabling Mr. Javier to run for a third term. So therefore, Mr. Granger do not have to wait for Mr. Javier to put up names to come, because if the Chief Justice ruled that the amendments to the Constitution is null and void, then therefore all amendments that was made at that time were also null and void. So I don't know, and he tried to hoodwink Mr. Granger by telling Mr. Granger they're going to come together and pick this new person for chairman. Now if they even come together applicants.
Yes.
Not pick them.
Okay.
Submit the name.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Then the president got to
Okay.
select from them.
Okay. Call you in here. Hello.
No, it's a very good point the caller made there.
Yeah. Call you in here. Hello? Hello? Yes?
Good afternoon, Mr. Sharma.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to the minister and the panel.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
In connection with GCOM chairman appointment,
Yeah.
could the Justice for All Party say if they were consulted by the president in connection with this appointment?
They don't
That's
have to
one.
be consulted.
Because the president usually said that the coalition is strong and so on and so on. Recently, Mr. David Hines of the WPA is saying that this appointment is a backward step. And he was crying out all the time that there is no consultation between the coalition. I'm wondering if the Justice for All was consulted. Thank you.
No, consulting, yes.
Let me answer that.
No.
The
you
Constitution
can't- you
says.
You shouldn't answer because I'm a minister.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, no, we weren't consulted, and the Constitution does not speak about consultation with any other person other than the leader of the opposition.
And parties in
And so,
Parliament.
that is what it says. And so,
Because look at here.
no, you misinterpreted the Constitution. And so, that is what it says. So, His Excellency didn't have to consult with any political party. Our political party doesn't hold a cabinet seat in the National
That's
Assembly.
right.
The AFC have 7 cabinet ministers.
Cabinet minister, that's right.
Each one of the minister cabinet ministers. If they wasn't consulted, you think you can consult the Industrial Party that doesn't sit in the cabinet? Well, your question, you should listen to what the AFC said, and you shouldn't be asking me the question in the first place. And so, Mr. Rahama wants to make a point, and the point is how Jagdeo apparently manipulate the system. Because what the Constitution say, and you don't have to tell me the Constitution. So I don't have to look at the book that he's reading. What the Constitution say is that the leader of opposition with consultation with parties in the
Parliament.
National Assembly.
That's right.
What Jagdeo did when he had to select those 6 names, he had consultation. He's the only party in Parliament in opposition. He didn't have to consult with anybody except for his own party people. So why he went through that charade of saying, I'm going to civil society? Civil society had nothing to do with it. So he wasted the president's time. And he was playing politics all along.
You mean the president
so
allowed
it's
him
10
to
months. 10 months they're going through this process, this agony of selecting a person. And so he ensured that he selected a set of people that the president would not be in agreement with. And then he got to turn around and blame the president. So yes, the caller was right. In a sense, he was hoodwinked. The president may have been hoodwinked by the plot by the leader of the opposition.
Right. Calling in here. Hello?
Good afternoon, Mr. Sharma, to you and panel.
Yes.
Mr. Sharma, this is to fire people with a claiming that they ain't nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Not for that, not places in the fire that they live in, but the way the people are giving people land who squatting there, not for them want to build places there. Everybody needs to apply for land. Because I had to apply for land in the big time with a sell me a swamp for 500,000 in acres. Not land they sell me swamp.
Okay.
So the 5 people need to apply for land too.
Yes.
And another thing, Mr. Jadeo, he just running him out like a guitar string that bust up, and he got no tune, and he just there for a set of stupidness. He needs to go in prison for the mouth we got.
Okay, thank you very much.
Good.
Call in. You got here. Hello?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Panel Minister, how are
Yeah.
you? All right, Mr. Minister, you know, lawyers, the panel was talking about lawyers or something. They're one of the biggest evader of tax. Look, I got one lawyer just the other day charged $5 million. I'm certain, for one matter, and I'm certain she have not declared that kind of money that she's gaining. And that's just one matter. And these are big people, and there's a large family of lawyers. One of them the other day had a problem with where they said about the minister, with Basil Williams. But these people, endless money, and they're the biggest evader. Now, we're law and order breakdown, Minister, to the panel there. Mr. Rahman was right, but he failed to name the police. When your commander weak and your commander saying, look, if
call him and he said, oh, you're still lying, man? You're still doing this? I'm not talking about A division. Go to the stations now. You go to the police, the woman is right. You go to the police, they don't have time with nobody case. They don't have no time with nobody. If you ain't pass money, you're in trouble, just like how we said about the judges' lives and what and what. The police are the biggest ones who you got to pass money to, and the commander is weak in age.
Not all the police, not all the police, not all the police, not all the police.
All the police.
That's right, yes. Got to correct, give up a correction.
The chain of command gone.
Yes.
And that's why
yes.
You see A division right now?
Yes.
Out. They're gone.
Okay.
A division is not A division that it used to be when Hickens and so been running it. This chapter they have there, feel he could take care, he can pass people, do what he wants, tell people what they want, and the whole chain of command is down. You go to Alberton Station, go to Kitty Station, go to anywhere. It's not a station anymore, Mr. Sham, like when you used to be the head of the police in
Chile
where police used to be.
That's right.
Good people.
Very
You can't go to them. Everybody just look.
That's true. That's true.
Hold on. You gonna report somebody gone thief your house? Hold on till midday, you know. By then the bandit police are on
America, the States.
Need to look at the division. If you don't change, that's why crime every day, but hardly reporting because people discuss. We're going to report. It doesn't make sense. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Very good point.
Calling you here. Hello.
Very good.
Good day, Mr. Sharma.
Good day, good day.
I agree that Mr. Daniel, I want you to agree with me that he needs prayer.
Can you speak a lot like Kareri?
Yes, Mr. Sharma.
Yes.
Mr. Daniel needs prayer. We need to pray for him before we run crazy and send this country people mad with all the things he's saying.
Okay.
We need some prayers.
Okay. Yeah. That's all?
No. There's a trench by Agricola, by the Poker, by the
Yes,
Hull.
yes.
That trench has some alligators. It needs to be dissolved. It has some large alligators in there.
Agricola?
Which Agricola?
By the Hull.
By the...
There's a Poker by the Hull.
Oh, the falls?
So, the riverside, that's where they have the oil coming in with boats.
Okay. Where's that?
In Agricola. On the
Agricola,
riverside.
Agricola.
Agricola?
That's on the east bank.
Okay.
East bank.
Now that's okay. There's big alligators there.
You got
Very
alligators in the trench?
We some time ago they catch one, but it's got away.
Okay. Thank you very much for contribution. Call, you're near.
Good afternoon, guys.
Yes.
Yes.
I listened to Mr. Shaw. He's complaining about the businessmen, the Indian people hold their money. What is his concern? That if the Indian people hold their money and they want to keep it, isn't their business? What is concerned with it?
Call you in here. Hello?
So you say people not
Hello.
Yes.
holding back.
Yes.
Yeah. Good day, everybody.
Yes. Good day. Yes.
Now, about this housing situation.
Yes.
Citizens in this country has the right to have proper housing in these different situations.
That's true. You got to have the right.
But they have no right to be living on dams.
Okay.
They got to get off of the dams.
Okay.
You understand me? The people for the East from Fells control, they're the control the East from Fells. They need to take those people to break down all those shacks and those dams. They don't need dams.
Okay.
You don't need people living in dams in this country. They're a nice country. And we don't want the deterioration in this country housing problems.
Okay.
People must live in proper houses. They must get off
Yes.
of dams.
Okay.
Okay, my brother.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Call you in here.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Shah.
Good afternoon.
Now, I want to say something about the panel deal that is talking too long. Let me tell you, about 5 times I call this number. Between 25 after 1 and quarter to 2.
Yes.
I can't get, you're talking too much.
No, we're very, very busy. We can't say we're talking too much.
Listen.
No, we can't say we're talking too much, man.
Listen to why I'm
You are
saying
talking
that.
too much.
Listen to why I'm saying that.
Yes.
Because this program is the voice of the people, not the voice of the panel.
Man, the voice is the panel, man.
Panel is people?
That's the panel of people, man.
Number 2.
Yeah.
Man, talk what you got to say.
Customer, always remember this. Your utmost is the best. You can't get your utmost best.
Okay.
Right? Number 3, Mr. Shamo.
Yes.
If I was charged for contempt of court, the police would have got me in prison up to today.
Yes.
And then people at GBTI, the means, the of them in jail.
Okay, thank you very much.
Because if the small man they do something like that,
Okay.
you would have done that in jail already.
That's very true.
This law for this country is only for the small people. The big people, they can't get in prison for contempt of court. Them man can know they get charged for contempt. Police will only right there, right away you got to jail.
Okay.
Why them can't go to jail?
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Carl, you're here.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Sharma, my concern is there anyone to look after the rights of the farmers in this country?
Yes, a lot of people got to look out farmers.
This is over a year now, we haven't received a cent payment from LAC. Nobody cares, nobody seems to do anything about it.
Mark Chapel answered
You
the
should
question.
report to the GRDB.
GRDB?
Did you report to the GRDB, Miss Allison?
Several times.
They are okay. Give me your number.
Yeah, Mr. Sharma.
Yes,
Concerning the housing.
Yes, yes.
A farm came to my workplace.
Yes,
I had
yes,
to look
yes,
for housing.
yes.
A farm, I was working
Yes,
food
yes,
service.
yes.
It came from public service.
Yes, yes.
Seconded to the food service.
Yes.
A farm came there. A farm for anyone who wants to join the co-op self-help housing group.
Yes.
Get a house.
Yes.
This is what came.
Yes.
Every place had it. The
Yes,
PCW had it. That is where it's concerned.
Okay.
They looked after the housing.
Okay.
And then you had the PVO housing.
Okay.
All the unions were in charge of the housing program.
Yes.
Anyone, a firm, a round table workplace, not going to look for no housing.
Yeah.
I think postal workers, housing is there.
Okay, thank you very much.
PVO housing scheme.
Thank you very much.
It is not no accidental thing.
Okay.
People just got to wait for somebody to come
Okay,
and get them housing.
thank you very much. We run out of time, right? Thank you very much. Let me hear what the minister have to say.
No, pleasant and a pleasant good afternoon.
Call in here. Hello? Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
A pleasant and a blessed good afternoon.
Good afternoon, good
Minister
afternoon. Yes.
And CN and the rest of the panel.
Yes.
I know Honorable Minister is not the Minister of Public Security, but I would like him to find out if Mr. Jack Dio, the words that he used with the local government election, if he cannot be prosecuted. He sounds, everything he's saying, he's ranting and raving. Is that good for his nervous system? Could he run a country in another term?
You're going to
We're not sure whether you can get a third term.
Yeah.
But with that behavior, oh, come on, you don't need somebody like that to lead you.
That's right.
That's
Good point. That's a very
When
good
Mr.
point.
Beckles died, who's the man who could do that?
Yeah, Mr. Wu, let him look after.
Okay.
It will be well. Have a blessed day.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations to Justice Patterson
Yes.
on his appointment.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Minister,
Thank you
keep
very
up
much.
the good work.
Relax. Please relax.
I'm just one
Let me answer these calls.
Okay.
Calling you on here. Hello?
Good afternoon, Mr.
Good
Sharma.
afternoon. Yes.
Good afternoon.
My problem is,
Yes.
since June,
Yes.
I applied for a
Yeah.
line at GT and
Yeah.
GT.
Yes.
But I'm ready for
Yes.
6 terminate. But I had some money for I paid them out.
Yes.
But in June, I applied 3 times.
Okay.
One online, 2 online, one on the record in the farm.
Yeah.
Right? And every time I call them up, they say they don't have line.
Who you call? Who you call?
Company,
Who you
they
call?
don't have line.
Who you
That's
call?
what I want to ask.
Who you call?
Just 700,000 people, not 1 million people in this country, and they can't get a line in Diamond Housing Scheme.
Call who you call? Who you call?
For 5-6 million already come of the company.
Okay.
It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous, of a company.
Okay, now listen to
No,
me.
you should complain to the PUC.
Customers.
Public
They cannot get a
Utilities
line.
Commission.
What is
It's
complaining
ridiculous.
about?
for this
I didn't know
company.
you
Can't
called
get a
for-
line.
Yes, can't get a
A
line.
line. Public Utilities Commission.
Calling you on here. Hello?
You mean telephone line?
Yeah. Yeah. Calling you. Hello? Hello, caller. Hello?
Mr. Sharma,
There's a complaint.
Call you. You're in here. Hold on. Hello?
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Sharma.
Good afternoon.
Concerning the G Committee.
Yeah. Yes.
Mr. Sharma, a person like you who have a television station experiencing the best freedom, you you ever experienced right now.
Yes.
We as Guyanese have very short memory. The things that the opposition did to people like Mr. Carbon and the people like Mr. Hoyt, make them walk out of Parliament and signing all sorts of bills, manipulating the whole system. This same man come again and bring a whole set of names and think Mr. Granger is a joke. I think Mr. Rahman, you have enough knowledge, a whole host of knowledge. I think you need to sometimes sit down and be on one side of the ship. You understand? Because sometimes we're talking for the coalition and next time we're talking against it. I mean, we are not perfect. You understand? But Mr. Jack deal with the amount of with the statement that he used that he gonna make this country ungovernable. Who is Mr. Jack Deal? The first thing we should ask him.
That's not right. That's not what they say. No, that's not right. No. I disagree with that. I disagree with that.
He get this country in this confusion where it is right now. All those little boys who thieving, they come up under Jack Deal reign. All of them is his product. Every single thing. You understand? And now he running for a term, and he thinking Mr. Granger is a joke. Well, he just know because when Mr. Granger were appoint the name from Mr. Height, when Mr. Height submit Mr. Granger name for become GCOM chair at time, he disallowed that. He put Mr. Granger there, but you see what happened? He has to turn back to the same Mr. Granger now. You understand? So now he causing a whole set of confusion. The first thing he should have put some names here that the president could have picked, choose somebody, but he put a whole set of people who corrupt, a whole set of people who name finger in this and that. You understand? And expect that the president wearing a dark shade. Congratulations to the next GCOM chair.
Thank you very much. Hello? Rasta, we got it like this.
Well, we still function in the mode of being our brothers and sisters keepers. And the hurricane relief program is still going forward. In fact, tomorrow at the stadium, there's a big hurricane relief cricket match. And on November 11th at the Durban Park, there's going to be a big hurricane relief cultural concert. The point is that hurricane relief is not a one-day, one-night affair. Because it's going to take at least 2-3 years for the people in Dominica and Barbados, some of the islands to recover themselves in St. Martin. Meaning that we as Guyanese have got to be bigger than ourselves. Meaning that we have problems here in Guyana, but they have people with bigger problems in the Caribbean and other parts of the world. We are fortunate, and we've got to extend our goodness to other people. So I'm saying to y'all,
who is we?
All of us here, all Guyanese, all conscious Guyanese, all loving Guyanese, and all Guyanese who know that there's an almighty God and there's more to life than just looking out for your own dear self.
Okay, thank you. What do you like to say what they did?
Well, Mr.
Teachers.
No, but firstly, referring to Mr. Jack Dio, who's saying he'll make things ungovernable now. But what is happening? He's putting things at. He's already not cooperating. You know what I'm saying? You find at the local government level, a lot of those people are not playing their part in trying to develop the communities and making use of the money available. And also in the sugar industry, they probably gave instructions to the workers not to, cooperate already. So I don't know if probably going to carry it to a higher level, non-cooperation. But he's promised, I think, to bring some protests to the city in this coming week. But besides that, there's a complaint. A guy brought in a letter here, and it's for the Minister of Labour to look into it, because he's saying that he's an employee of a security company, and they're short paying their workers.
We can't actually like an sign.
He said that they're short paying the employees, and this company operates with schools,
I can't accept this letter,
hospitals.
It's not signed, he says it's not signed.
But in region 2, 3, 4, 6, and 10, they have employees. But I wouldn't name the company. But it's
we can't name the company, and we don't know not to name the company.
But the Minister of Labour should be able to investigate why they're not paying workers properly, why they're not paying them.
There's something going on for years now, years, go. And we don't accept no letter that's signed. You have to send a letter. We don't accept no letter when that's signed. Call you in here. Hello?
Good afternoon, Mr. Sharma.
Good afternoon. Yes.
Mr. Jaipal, we don't need special prosecutor alone. We need special magistrate too. Because these magistrates are linked to the PPP. And anybody who get these fat charges that go in there, these magistrates can get them off, will hook them off the hook. Because they are linked to the PPP. We need special magistrates too, special judge, special prosecutor, and special police investigator.
You make some very good point.
And special cells.
Thank you very much.
That's very important, Paul.
Yeah, he makes some very good point. Yeah. Call you. Hello.
Yeah, Mr. Sharma, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yes.
The caller before spoke that Mr. Jagdeo submitted 18 corrupt names.
What?
18 corrupt names of those.
How you know the name corrupt? How you know the name corrupt?
No, he said,
Right?
he said the call.
What I'm saying
Caller says
Yeah,
so.
yeah, so, yeah.
if you check the names of those
Yeah.
persons,
Yes.
you cannot classify all of those persons like that as an insult to those persons.
No,
and
yeah.
Mr. Saul was clapping when the caller finished.
What?
Check that 18 names and see the persons that was recommended.
No.
But they're not corrupt people.
They're not corrupt. I agree with you. They're not corrupt.
You can't cloud everybody like that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
You can't.
Call you. Hello. Hello.
Hi, Mr. Sharma, good
Yeah.
day.
Good day.
You and your panel.
Yes.
I got a question for the Rastaman.
Yeah.
He wants the president to legalize marijuana. At what age the children them gonna start using marijuana?
He did not say that. He didn't say that. No, he didn't say that.
You be honest.
Okay, I got one more question.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can remember when Do Not Sing the Flaring, the President Janet Jagan?
Yes. I was there when he flunked
When the
the
president clearing the chairman for GCOM now,
yeah.
his vice voter,
Yes.
they getting back the medicine.
I was there at that time. I was there at that time. I got find the tape. I got find the tape.
Yes, but they getting back their own medicine
Yeah,
now.
that's right. Yeah, that's right.
So they got to take the medicine and sit down quiet.
Do not say that time. Do not say very good. The president, Janet Jackson do it. Oh, do well. Very. I tell true it. Go harder. I was there, but I flip it. I flip the thing
You
and
should throw it again.
yeah, I flip it. I cover it.
Oh, what does Jack do you have to say about that?
Then you know what I say about that.
I have a problem. I'm working 8 to 10 years.
Yes.
And I'm waiting 3, right?
Yeah. Why you crying?
I have a disability.
What?
He has a disability.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm working with them. I got the disability.
Yes.
On my job.
Yes.
I got my letter.
You had a stroke?
No, pensioners.
Pensioners.
Oh, pensioners.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. Yes.
I used to work at the post.
Yes.
Somebody from the agency office.
Yes. How old are you now?
I am 32.
What?
I have 32. I have 2 children.
Okay.
So how
What is your occupation?
How I could maintain
What is your occupation?
nothing right now.
It's not working.
What kind of work you doing?
Not working.
Oh, not work. Okay.
Excuse me?
Go ahead. Let me record the seat. Go ahead.
How I could maintain my 2 children.
Okay.
Which one,
How old is your name?
one is next year should write exam to go into high school.
Okay.
And the other one will write exam
Yeah.
next year.
Yes.
How can I get back my job when I work with them
And where is your wife?
10 years?
Where is your wife?
She leaves me ago.
She live in Angoy? Why? Why she live this Angoy?
Because they knocked me up.
Because you not here to make she live in Angoy?
Because Mr. Sharma
Yes.
used to work at the personal
Yes.
department.
Yes.
I know about the Choway Regency. There's Choway. When they come in with the sick leave, it's normally Choway. You got this time with my radio.
Yeah.
Choway.
Yeah.
And dumpster.
Yes.
I used to left me lunch and work with them.
Yes.
I have a this
Okay.
a pinch now.
All right, look, you want to give me your number? Give me your number.
268.
97.
Huh?
She needs some help.
Not all the time.
268 what? Uh-huh.
27.
27
01.
01. Okay.
Okay, and who was your employer before?
Hello?
Who were your employer?
I don't think it's Mr. Paul Ramadan.
Don't think. Tell me positive.
And so you didn't went to the Ministry of Labor.
No.
You said you used to work in the Labor Department, but you didn't went to the Ministry of Labor.
No.
All right, I'm going to give you a call to get some more details. You said you worked 10 years?
Yeah, 10 years.
And did terminate your service?
Yeah.
All right.
What's your first name?
268.
What is that?
What's your first name?
Okay, thank you very much.
No,
What is your first name? What is your first name?
Brian Matthew.
Brian.
Okay. Thank you very much. We'll see what help we can give to you, right? Here we come to report number 30.